trapped inside this spell. Now I feel it, now I feel it. Your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel it. mind chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chilling, kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the moss room. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding.
It's Haaland, and here in career mode, City have won the lot. Rodri on the chance! Goal in the final by Rodri! Jude Bellingham will not be coming to Manchester City. We are Premier League champions, City FC, our champions. Series based on the World Cup with music videos, football and more. Get your official City FC merchandise. Join us as we explore historic Europe and football. Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel for our live exclusive commentary in the channel of Manchester City versus Aston Villa. City go away to Villa Park to face Unai Emery's side. Absolutely flying at the moment in the Premier League. Manchester City not so much, with 3 draws in the last 3 games. 6 is here, great to have you 6. The City have really been drawing recently. They have been doing. You guys can vote in the comments there. If you think it's going to be a City win, a Villa win, or a draw today. Villa is still on the pitch training, actually, but Manchester City are back in the change room at Villa Park. They have finished their little warm-up. Let's look at 2 sides up against each other. You can see the City side on the screen there. You'll see it throughout the game. It's on Amazon Prime today around the world, so you can watch the game on Amazon Prime. You can actually turn off the commentary in the settings and listen to my commentary if you'd like that. If not, you can, of course, listen to the commentary on there. Or if you can't watch the game at all, you haven't got Amazon Prime, then you can listen to us. I'll describe all the action as best as possible. All the coverage, all the goals, all the action as it happens. Let's have a look at the City side and the Villa side alongside each other. So Aston Villa go with a 4-2-2 or a 4-2-3-1 it could be. Manchester City with a, you know, they could be that 3-5-2, 3-5-1 formation that Pep likes. We're not exactly sure. But we'll go with the Villa side first, which is Emi Martinez in goal. City's side they're up against. Ezri Konsa starts at right back with Diego Carlos, Pau Torres and Luka Dean, the back 4. In the midfield 4 is Leon Bailey, Boubacar Kamara, ex-Manchester City man Douglas Luiz, the captain for Aston Villa, or sometimes the captain, vice-captain. Today it's John McGinn on the left-hand side who takes the captaincy for this Villa side. And then it's Yuri Tielemans in behind Ollie Watkins up top. That's the way it's expected to line up, with Tielemans in behind. We could see Tielemans in a wider area and Leon Bailey through the middle because they play very narrow, wide players, don't they, in Emery's side. As for Manchester City, it is Ederson who starts in goal. Captain Kyle Walker, Manu Akanji, Ruben Diaz and Josh Gvardiol, the back 4 for City. Stones, Lewis and Julian Alvarez line up in the midfield with Bernardo Silva on the right, Phil Foden on the left, and Erling Haaland, who has avoided a ban, through the middle. Since Emery's first game at Aston Villa, Erling Haaland's got 32 goals, 9 assists in 41 goal involvements in total. Third place is Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins, 21 goals, 10 assists in 31 in total, so 10 less goal involvements than Erling Haaland for Ollie Watkins. However, that is just purely down to the goals because he has got 1 more assist. So Watkins is definitely the danger man for Manchester City to look out for today, along with Douglas Luiz, who've been talking midweek about playing for City and how he's very happy to be, you know, part of the Manchester City family for a while. City brought him to Europe from Brazil, and he's really looking forward to getting a goal today, if possible, for himself. It is going to be a big tactical battle, isn't it, between Unai Emery and Pep Guardiola. 13 meetings between these 2 managers, and Pep Guardiola has come out a winner or undefeated in all 13. Haaland makes his 50th Premier League appearance today for Manchester City, and can he, you know, honour that 50th Premier League appearance with a couple of goals for City today, a hat-trick and so on. He's avoided a ban, which they suggested he might get after that draw at Tottenham, where he was very unhappy with Simon Hooper's massive mistake. I was considering making a video on the Spurs, I don't know, travesty, I suppose you could call it, in terms of the refereeing decisions, but more the way City are playing. I think City against Spurs, against Liverpool, especially in those 2 games, we're not clinical enough. How can we not be clinical enough and still score 3 goals? And defensively, Manchester City have felt like they're all over the place at the moment. So they do need to sort that out, and hopefully Gvardiol, Diaz, Akanji, Walker, Stones can get that all right today. Can be sort of a back 5 at times. I suspect, however, it's going to be a 3 with Diaz, Gvardiol and Walker, and Akanji stepping alongside Stones in that midfield too. 2 centre-backs in there for City. And then it will be Lewis and Alvarez supporting Haaland, with Foden and Bernardo Silva in the wide areas. MK's here as well. Hello to MK. She's in MK's in a 1-0 win for Manchester City. Well, that would be a real tight game, wouldn't it? But I'd take a 1-0 today. I'd certainly take a 1-0 win today for Manchester City against Villa, because Villa are in such good form. Villa are doing fantastically. Some other Premier League games being played currently around the Premier League, and I'll go through those right now. Brighton-Brentford occurred in the 34th minute, where it is level 1-1 between Brighton and Brentford. Crystal Palace against Bournemouth. All these sides are in the 34th, 35th minute. Palace against Bournemouth is currently a 1-0 lead for Bournemouth over Crystal Palace. Fulham and Forest is currently a 2-goal lead for Fulham. They've just scored again here, Fulham, to make it 2-0. Raul Jimenez with the finish. Alex Iwobi got the first one. And Sheffield United against Liverpool, everything all level at Sheffield United, and the new manager Chris Wilder returning to the club. 0-0 currently between Liverpool and them. So it's a tight game there at Bramall Lane between Sheffield and Liverpool. City couldn't beat Liverpool. Maybe Sheffield will, I don't know. Luton last night, they tried to get a win against Arsenal, didn't they? But Arsenal, once again, came out winners in the 98th minute. A Declan Rice header. This actually highlights being shown in City's performance against Spurs on Prime, where Jack Grealish came off the bench to score what should have been the winner for Manchester City, and Jack Grealish celebrated it like he thought he had got the winner. But then poor defending from Manchester City, Nathan Ake got absolutely bullied by Dejan Kulusevski as the ball came in from the corner and the header, and that was very disappointing for Manchester City. A really poor result for City against Spurs. I did think City would win that game when I went into the game, and I'm really the most optimistic of Manchester City fans, but the game against Spurs, even when City went 1-0 down, I thought, I'm confident we're going to come back and we're going to win this. And I was confident with the fact that Spurs had a rotated side out there, that Manchester City would come out and, they would get the wins pretty simply. But that wasn't the case. City struggled, and defensively City struggled. And defence has been a big issue for Manchester City at the moment, hasn't it? Defensive side of the game. That is something we need to really improve on. Diaz seems out of form at the moment. Akanji had a bit of a shock against Leipzig. Actually, Ake came on in that game against Leipzig and steadied the ship. And then the game against Spurs, he came on for Vardiol, who had a shaky game against Spurs, I do believe, at the back. And he was poor, I think, for that Spurs final goal. You've got captain Kyle Walker just unwilling to try and stop the cross. That was really lazy from Walker. And not only that, but Manchester City with Kyle Walker, he offers absolutely nothing when he goes over the halfway line. So Pep Guardiola's got a lot of things to think about. City have got, 5 defenders in there today, and then 4 up top. You'd hope that offers some sort of defensive solidity, and then City a bit more fluidity in the forward line, a bit more chance for City to be more open. And one thing I would like to add about City is, and I have to single out Rico Lewis. I thought that when City played RB Leipzig in midweek, Rico Lewis in that second half, Kyle Walker came off, Lewis moved into a midfield position, and City played so much better. We went on to win the game 3-2. Yes, the changes of Alvarez and Doku coming on made big difference well, but Rico Lewis in the midfield, I think, makes everyone play better. And I think we saw it again against Spurs. City was just in a moment where they were struggling against Spurs. And Pep Guardiola brought Rico Lewis into the midfield. And I thought he just added that intensity, that ability to control the game. And something Manchester City have massively lost in the departure of Ilkay Gundogan, I think, which might be the biggest departure for our season. In Gundogan, we've lost a player that knew when to play a short pass and when to play a long pass, when to control the game, when to go forward, when not to. And in Alvarez is a striker. He hasn't got that to his game. And I think Rico Lewis probably is the closest we're going to have to that. I thought Kovacic would be that player. He hasn't been when he's performed really in recent games, though he had a decent start. And Matheus Nunes, he's not that sort of player either. He's someone who likes to carry the ball and drive. Fahad Khalid is here. Good to see Fahad here. Need a good performance today. And hopefully win and close the gap at the top. Well, I'm hoping we close the gap as well, Fahad. We do really need to close the gap. I think Pep Guardiola before this game actually has said that if Manchester City were to win the treble this season, he'd retire, which I'd rather we didn't win the treble than Pep Guardiola retire and leave us, to be honest with you. But I'm not exactly sure how City are going to be. Emery's team are good on the counter-attacks as 6. If nothing's changed in their defence, it could be out really bad. Yeah, I mean, the defence has to perform better than against Spurs, against Liverpool. I mean, in this Spurs game, in the Liverpool game, it was just inevitable that Manchester City were going to concede, wasn't it? We were sort of sat there watching the game, and I was at the game at the Etihad for both those. And I thought, City need to score another one, we're going to concede here. The defence always looked like it would concede, and we missed so many clear-cut chances. I mean, think of that Liverpool goal at the Etihad. It was a Trent Alexander-Arnold goal that came from Phil Foden missing an absolute sitter at one end, and then going to the other end. And Phil Foden's been missing sitters, but so is Erling Haaland at the moment. The man that you really can't be affording to missing sitters. Let us know your predictions in the live chat as well, by the way, guys. Andrew's already coming here with a 2-0 win for Manchester City. MK said a 1-0 win. Liverpool have taken the lead against Sheffield United. An assist for Trent Alexander-Arnold and a goal for Virgil van Dijk, I assume, from a corner. As we know, Fulham are 2-0 up against Nottingham Forest. Brighton and Brentford level at 1-1. The goals in that game came from Pascal Gross and Brian Burma were penalty. And Crystal Palace 1-0 down to a Marcos Senesi goal for AFC Bournemouth. So Manchester City and Villa in the tunnel. City have got their burgundy and white kits on. A shake of the hands by Diego Carlos with Bernardo Silva and Julian Alvarez. I'm not exactly sure how they know each other. Carlos knows Edison as well. Well, Diego Carlos was once on the list at Manchester City, wasn't he, as a possible signing, alongside Jules Koundé after missing out on Kalidou Koulibaly, which was actually a bullet dodge because he was terrible for Chelsea. They then went for sort of Carlos, decided against that, and went for Jules Koundé. That didn't work out either. And the end, City went and signed Ruben Diaz, which turned out to be an incredibly successful signing, didn't it? It really did. City's bench today is a bit of a worry. Our squad depth is a big issue. And the bench consists of 2 goalkeepers. I've already included one on the graphic there in Stefan Ortega. But it's Calvin Phillips, Nathan Ake, Mateo Kovacic, Sergio Gomez, Mateus Nunes and Oscar Bob. I mean, I'm honest with you guys, there's not one player off the bench there that I would bring on at any point that if City were desperate for a goal, I thought could bring one for City. They really wouldn't. And I mean, what does it say about Calvin Phillips' future at Manchester City that when Rodri is not playing and we've literally got no midfield, he'd rather play a centre-back and a full-back in there than play Calvin Phillips. So I think Phillips' Manchester City career is very much absolutely over. I think there's no chance he stays at City beyond January. He'll be gone in January. I have no doubts about that. He could end up at Aston Villa. He could end up at Newcastle or somewhere else, but he will not be a Manchester City player at the end of the January transfer window, Calvin Phillips. I mean, the fact that he's not started today's game says all you need to know about Calvin Phillips and Pep Guardiola's relationship in terms of how much Pep Guardiola trusts him. And the answer is he doesn't trust him at all. So 2 sides come out to the field now at Villa Park. Manchester City taking on Aston Villa away from home. Unai Emery's side, who are flying at the moment, and one of my favourite sides to watch in the Premier League. I've liked Unai Emery for a very long time. I think it's very hard done by, very disrespected during his time at Arsenal, actually, Unai Emery. And, you know, I was listening to an interview with John McGinn before the game, and John McGinn was saying about Unai Emery sometimes does team talks, tactical team talks, and focuses on the details, and he can spend an hour and a half in there. 1 hour 30 minutes, which is a very long time, tactical details. And so, some players don't like that. I obviously didn't work at Arsenal. The players did not respect Unai Emery, but you should respect someone who's won so much. The Aston Villa side will run through it again. Emi Martinez starts in goal. There's a back four of Ezri Konsa, Diego Carlos, Pau Torres and Luca Dean. Midfield 5 of Leon Bailey, Yuri Tillemans, Kamara, Douglas Luiz and John McGinn. And Ollie Watkins up top. Whether it's Bailey playing off Watkins because he liked to be in that 4-4-2 shape. Surprisingly, Moussa Diaby on the bench, but their bench looks really good. They've got Ramsey, who can make a difference, Duran, Zaniolo, Diaby, Longley, Alex Moreno, Matty Cash. Some really, really good options on Unai Emery's bench there that all could come in and cause big problems for Manchester City, really. Especially Moussa Diaby, who I would have loved to have seen City sign this summer themselves. They went for Jeremy Doku instead, but yeah, I mean, that Villa side is brilliant. Pau Torres is a spectacular good signing, and I think him with Carlos at the back, Ezri Konsa at right back, I really do like that Villa side. I think they need a better left back with Alex Moreno on the bench. I'd bring him in for Digne. As for Manchester City, Edison starts in goal with Walker, Diaz, Akanji and Vardiol, the back 4. The Stones, Alvarez and Rico Lewis in the midfield 3. And it's Phil Foden, Erling Haaland and Bernardo Silva, Manchester City's front 3. On the bench, Stefan Ortega, Moreno and Scott Carson, the keepers. It's Phillips, Ake, Kovacic, Sergio Gomez, Mateus Nunes and Oscar Bob. City's bench, depleted to say the least, looks very, very weak. There's the Manchester City defence and, well, the defence on the bench, just anything on the bench. I mean, Sergio Gomez I wouldn't bring on. Kovacic, I'm not a big fan of Kovacic. I wasn't when he signed Kovacic. I thought he's a poor signing for City. And then he played for us quite a few games at the start of the season where I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And since that injury, which he picked up, he went to that Arsenal game and was shocking. And from then, I've not been a big fan of Kovacic at all. I thought he's been really poor for Manchester City. Maybe he can turn it around, but it's sort of a short-term sign just to try and make up for the mistake of losing Gundogan, really, and not signing down to a new contract. Just a body in there, Kovacic, and maybe City do sell him on in the summer if he doesn't work out. Team huddle for Manchester City here in the centre circle. The team getting together, Rico Lewis motivating the team. And there's going to be a team talk from Captain Kyle Walker here. Let us know in the comments below, by the way, or in the live chat. What do you think of Kyle Walker as Manchester City captain? Do you think that is the right decision from City for him to be captain? Is that Pep Guardiola They're desperate for him to stay after losing so many key players in the dressing room. Excuse me. Or is it, that they decide, it's the right thing to get rid of to get Kyle Walker captain's armband? I don't know. A lot of people have been questioning that on social media this week, especially after his poor performance against Spurs. So Julian Alvarez on the ball here for Manchester City, going to get us underway at Villa Park. Manchester City versus Aston Villa, and it's live. You can time your clock up with ours if you want. All the action here. It looks like a back one for City straight away, with Diaz the only one back there. Long ball by Edison, headed away by Villa. Underneath it is Kyle Walker, down by Luca Dean. John McGinn against Kyle Walker, who's physical. Rico Lewis the foot in. Dispossesses McGinn, throwing for Villa. On the far side here, Luca Dean to throw it in. He's played for PSG, got good pedigree, Luca Dean. Played for PSG, he's played for Barcelona, Lille. Played for quite a few top football teams. As Luca Dean. Need to take the throw in here. Sends it long. Walker is there. Kyle Walker slams it forward. Phil Foden is off the left and Bernardo Silva off the right. As expected. Emi Martinez steps out of his box and picks it up for Aston Villa. He's waiting for the press from City, which doesn't come. And City are letting Martinez have the ball and decide what he wants to do with it. And Erling Haaland is deciding he won't press Emi Martinez. It's his decision what to do. Here's Martinez. Brings the ball out and goes in towards Diego Carlos. City trying to sit in their shape a little bit more. To listen to the match without commentary, you can select a certain button and go to your audio menu and choose Stadium FX. Lovely spin by Babukar Kamara in the midfield there. In towards Yuri Tillemans. It is Leon Bailey on the right, and it's Tillemans just playing off Ollie Watkins up top. John McGinn on that left-hand side. Very much a 4-2-2-2 from Villa. John McGinn with a first-time left-footed ball in behind. Stones read it. Watkins was trying to get in the end of it. And it goes through to the Brazilian goalkeeper, Edison. Pressing from Tillemans. Edison wide to Diaz. Diaz for Manchester City. Walker. Really poor touch by Walker here. Kicks it into McGinn. It's a throw-in to City, but that is poor from Walker there. There's a clear pass in the centre. And he's not done well to not pull that pass off. It's good to see John Stones back in that Manchester City midfield. He'll make a big difference, I'm sure. Throwing for City. Kyle Walker in their own half on the far right-hand side. Walker approaches towards the centre circle in terms of his position. With that throw-in. Edison switched it out to Joshko Vardiel. A bit of a shaky night against Spurs. Vardiel gives it away. Alvarez can't get to it. Kamara beats Alvarez to it. Here's Leon Bailey into John McGinn. Footing by Walker's not enough. Rico Lewis across. Wide they go and out to Luca Dean, who's got one thing on his mind. Luca Dean's getting that left foot and get a cross in. He gets past Bernardo Silva. It's a great swing in by Dean, is it? No. Can't beat the first man, headed away by Kyle Walker. John McGinn dispossessed by Bernardo Silva. Flicked through to Haaland. And read by Pau Torres, who's quickly out to it. Douglas Luiz for Aston Villa. The former Manchester City man, who I think could have been a very good addition to the City midfield. And if it wasn't for work permit issues, he would have been a City player. Yuri Tillemans. Intercepted by Alvarez. Rico Lewis can't flick it away from Babukar Kamara. Unai Emery giving talks on the sidelines here. John McGinn spins away from Rico Lewis. McGinn for Aston Villa. McGinn still. McGinn onto that left foot. Plays it out wide to Luca Dean. Dean looking for a shot here. Luca Dean strikes one. Into side netting by the Frenchman. Edison was expected to have that one covered. A good play from Villa. John McGinn here. Lovely spin in the midfield away from Rico Lewis. Stones comes across. McGinn. Wide to Luca Dean. Just on the edge of the box on the left-hand side. Pass Walker. Gets a shot off. It's never going in there. It's a very narrow angle. Luca Dean really's got to try and get a cross in, but he tries to beat Edison at his near post. He's very much into the side netting and doesn't find the back of the net. Vardiel back to Edison here. Over to Ruben Diaz. I think Vardiel's struggling at this left back role at the moment. Rico Lewis will spin away from Douglas Luiz. Taken down by Douglas Luiz. It's a free kick for Manchester City. A late one by the Brazilian, who's not happy. He didn't think that was a foul on Rico Lewis, but Rico Lewis spun him there and then was kicked. And Rico Lewis wins a free kick for Manchester City. Well, Pep Guardiola said before the game, if he win the treble at the end of this season, he would retire. Well, I'd rather us not win the treble and not see Pep retire, to be honest with you. Here's Diaz for Manchester City. Playing it along that back line across the back three to Kyle Walker. Kanji's gone into centre trying to pick up a pass. Stones to Walker. Nice burst by Walker back into Stones. John Stones for City. Into Akanji. Given away by City. Akanji gets there ahead of Kamara. It flicks off Akanji behind for a throw. It was a bit of a slack pass from John Stones. Akanji was slow to it. City give it away. And Villa have the ball back in possession again. Here's Douglas Luiz. Back to Brazilian Carlos, who lets it run back to Ezri Konsa. Into Kamara. Good little 1-2 with Konsa there. He's away from Phil Foden. Nice play from right back from Emery Konsa. Kamara. Back into Diego Carlos. Douglas Luiz. Brazilian connection there between the two. So if we said a 2-1 prediction to Manchester City to win. Of course, Manchester United against Chelsea is on as well at the moment. That will have just kicked off as well. I'll try and keep you updated with the scores. Everything is still the same, I believe. Half-time from Fulham and Forest still 2-0. Every score is the same as I told you before. Pau Torres, from the edge of his box, swings it forward towards John McGinn, who gets away from John Stones. Well played, John McGinn. Long ball in behind to Leon Bailey, who's in 1-on-1 with the keeper. Bailey on the right foot, save by Edison. Behind for a corner, well, it's poor defending by Josh Gvardiol. Ball in behind him. And Aston Villa unlock Manchester City. Lovely spin here by McGinn. Gvardiol tries to play Watkins offside. He's unaware that Leon Bailey's behind him. Leon Bailey's through on goal. But the right-footed shot by Bailey's tame. If he'd gone through across the box there to Ollie Watkins, he had a tap in. It's selfish from Bailey. And he's probably let Aston Villa down there. Poor finish on his right foot. He had to try and put it across the box to Ollie. Had to put it across to Ollie Watkins there, Bailey. And Aston Villa just certainly had a 1-0 lead. But Manchester City looks so open at the back here. Against Villa. And against Spurs and against Liverpool. And against Chelsea. Ball to come in from Luca Dean here. Luca Dean swings it in. Free header in the box. No, City get away and taken down by Foden. Beaten to it by John McGinn. McGinn, little ball through to Pau Torres here. Torres with the turn here. What a save from Edison. Palms it away from the left. Bending shot from Pau Torres. The centre-back got it on his left foot. He tried to curl it into the top corner. And Edison has to push it away. Well saved by the Brazilian Edison. Good attempt by Pau Torres. It was Haaland doing the defending. It was down the centre actually from Torres. It's not the most difficult of saves, but Edison had to make the save. He did do. Really good start by Villa. Peppering the Manchester City goal. Edison forward towards Phil Foden. He takes a really, really hefty touch. And gives it straight back to Villa with Douglas Luiz. Poor from Phil Foden. Concert. Round the corner by Villa. Deflected by Stones. And behind for a throw into Villa on this right hand side. Who have started lively and started really well. Unai Emery's side. Really, really good start from Aston Villa. Abubakar Kamara. Kamara. Luis. Oh, bad pass by Luis. And it's intercepted by Alvarez. Rico Lewis gets into the end of it. Rico for City. Back to Walker. And Kyle Walker goes backwards. And City is trying to get a bit of control in the game. That's what Rico Lewis was asking for, rather than City trying to pounce and create a chance of their own. Ruben Diaz for Manchester City. Diaz. Diaz taking his time here. Diaz. Gvardiol. Phil Foden. Foden back towards Josh Gvardiol. On towards Ruben Diaz. City trying to build up from the back. Just over the halfway line is Kyle Walker, who clips running behind towards Erling Haaland on the chest of Pau Torres and nearly dealt with by the Spaniard. Torres left-footed sweep away. Akanji out-muscled. Watkins in there and beaten to it by Ruben Diaz. Good tackle by our centre-back there, Diaz. Gvardiol. Back to Akanji, who now finds himself in the centre. City playing very fluid, I've noticed in the last few games. We've seen Diaz pressing high and sometimes playing as a winger, trying to close down the opposition. Gvardiol. Ball in behind to Foden, given away by Gvardiol. Taken down by Kamara. Won back by John Stones. Well played, Stones in the middle there. Good play by Stones. Trying to control the game for City. Gvardiol. Diaz. Stones is saying go back to Edison. Ruben Diaz does with the left foot back to Eddie. And back out to Diaz on the far right and left-hand side. Diaz. Gvardiol. Into John Stones. Nice take by Stones. Back to Gvardiol again. City seem to have played out of the press there from Villa and then played back into it. Ruben Diaz for Manchester City. Brings it out of his box and brings it forward. He's waiting for Villa to do something. Diaz still. Over to Gvardiol. Back to Diaz again. Under pressure. Diaz. Back to Gvardiol once more. City confident playing in that position. Good ball by Gvardiol forward to Stones. Back to Diaz. He's got to then play it into Akanji. Doesn't do, but he goes wide towards Kyle Walker. You can put a bit of a drive in it now. Ollie Watkins reluctant to try and press him there. Into Stones by Walker. Good touch by John Stones. Wide to Bernardo Silva. Nicely done by City. Bernardo clips it in behind towards Haaland here. Diego Carlos nods it away. Only as far as Rico Lewis, who beats Pau Torres to it. Well played, Rico. Back to Akanji. Poor from Diego Carlos there at the back. John Stones for City. Centre circle is Ruben Diaz. Walks to the right, Gvardiol to the left. He decides to go to Josh Gvardiol. Gvardiol. Nice ball to Akanji in the middle by Gvardiol. Space. Kanji into Rico Lewis, who turns. Rico goes in behind to Bernardo Silva, who's no intent of running in behind to get to that one. John Stone's unhappy with Rico a little bit there. I think we're giving it away. But Rico played the ball and Bernardo had no intention of running in behind. That's not his game, is it? Not his game at all. City now getting a bit of possession and dominating it. Villa did for the first 7 minutes or so. Ruben Diaz, switch of play to Phil Foden. He's spacing behind to Julian Alvarez. Chased by Kamara. Alvarez back to Foden. Crossed in by Foden straight off the chest of Concert. Goes out to his left-hand side to Vardiel, who picks it up. Joshua Vardiel centrally to Stones. Back on towards Diaz under pressure from Watkins there. Stones did well. Back into Vardiel. Round the corner to Alvarez. Phil Foden. Got 3 Villa players round him. Goes back to Alvarez. This is better from City. They've sort of got a foothold in the game now, Manchester City. Trying to control it. Akanji. Found by Diaz. Vardiel. Foden from Manchester City. Phil Foden. Burst through a lovely space there. Foden to Haaland here. Haaland's in. Haaland shoots. Good save by the keeper. Back out to Bernardo Silva. Puts it to the far post to Erling Haaland. Saved by Emery Martinez. Oh, well, Haaland's had 2 amazing chances there and he's missed them both. Really good chance. City couldn't finish it off. Bailey. Pressure from Alvarez. Leon Bailey still a Jamaican. In the corner flag, his own corner flag. Gives it away to Vardiel. Joshua Vardiel. Rise the challenges. Good play from Foden, by the way, in the build-up. Out to Vardiel. Good feet by Vardiel. Can't find Alvarez. And Villa win it back. But 2 really good chances there for Erling Haaland. Both couldn't be dispatched by our Norwegian. Up top. 2 really good chances for Haaland. Played in. The first one threaded in behind by Foden. Haaland's one-on-one with the keeper. Tries to play it across from the left-hand side across Emery Martinez. He makes a good save. Wasn't right in the corner. It's saved to Bernardo Silva's pass. Instead of going short towards Foden or Rico Lewis in space, he decides to clip it to the far post to Haaland, who gets his head in it and doesn't manage to put it into the back of the net, which is a big shame that Haaland couldn't get that. 2 good chances, 2 misses. Here's Ruben Diaz for City. Trying to bring it out for the back from Manchester City. A little touch and then he sends it into space to Phil Foden on his left-hand side. Lovely ball by Diaz into Phil Foden. He takes it well. He's holding off Ezri Konsa here, Foden. Nice play from Phil Foden. Still going into John Stones. A bad pass. Stones gets a toe on it. But it's a really poor pass by Phil Foden. Ollie Watkins under pressure from Ruben Diaz. Arms around Ollie Watkins and free kick goes Villa's way. Evening all, says Chris. Evening to you, Chris. But Foden's looking lively off this left-hand side so far. Very lively. There's a great ball in behind to Haaland before. It's a shame he didn't score from that double chance there for Erling Haaland. You think he could have been offside in the return for the header. But he tries to go across Emery Martinez, but he doesn't get it low. He gets it at a really good height. City are in trouble here. Leon Bailey in. Cleared away. City just before it reaches Edison. Bailey in for a one-on-one again. Foden. Little spin on Konsa. Gets it through the legs. It falls to Akanji. Footing on there. Babukar Kamara. And the ball is back with Aston Villa. Well, Villa look dangerous when they play those passes in behind towards Ollie Watkins and Leon Bailey. Manchester City not reading them so well, the back 3. That's all. Here's Douglas Luiz, another ball in behind here. Vardiel's been beaten again by a ball in behind. Here's Leon Bailey. Bailey across the box to Watkins. Stone slices it away with the right foot. Alvarez just beats Yuri Tillemans to it. Foden can't beat Tillemans in the air. Foden's still battling for it. Kamara picks it up. Great play by the Frenchman. Babakar Kamara tries to thread one through. Akanji gets lucky that he flecks off him. Alvarez with Vardiel. But Joshua Vardiel at the moment. The ball in behind him at the left-back situation for Leon Bailey is causing problems. Bailey's making runs off the right-hand side centrally. And he's getting done in behind every time, Vardiel. Needs to wake up and be alive to those balls in behind. Kyle Walker. Wide left to Phil Foden again, who's having a lively game off this left-hand side. Foden with the ball in behind to Haaland. It's too heavy from Phil Foden. It's not a great ball at all. A very high line from Aston Villa. As we know, Unai Emery's side will play. Foden there, better quality ball. Haaland's one-on-one with the keeper and City score. Foden's got to have a better quality pass there, really. Emery Martinez under pressure from Haaland. To the right side of his box to Diego Carlos, who's now recovered fully from that Achilles injury he picked up after just signing for Aston Villa. It's a big shame. Hampered his Villa career after, a really good few seasons at Sevilla. Pau Torres back to Martinez. City trying to put Villa under a bit of pressure here. Emery Martinez, short to Douglas Luiz, across the box towards Diego Carlos. Lovely play by Villa. Akanji in there and Yuri Tillemans. Fantastic from Aston Villa. Here's Babakar Kamara. Lovely touch away from Rico Lewis. It's a poor pass out wide to Luca Dean. Right idea from Babakar Kamara, but just poor execution in the pass by the Frenchman. Well, on Amazon Prime, they've shown the replay of Haaland's shot time and time again here. 2 best chances of the game. Crystal City look fragile at the back. No way Villa will not score at least one in this game. Yeah, I think everyone's thinking that going into this one, weren't they, Chris? 4 conceded against Chelsea, 1 against Liverpool, 3 against Spurs, 2 against Leipzig, and they're just the last few games. So I'm expecting to concede at least 2 goals in today's game. Josh Gvardiol, as good as he's on the ball, when that ball goes in behind him, he doesn't seem to have a clue. Ball over top by Ruben Diaz here towards Alvarez. Julian's gone too early. Offside against the Manchester City forward. But Josh Gvardiol, the ball in behind Vardiol seems to be the way to go for Villa. Right in behind him towards Leon Bailey. Alvarez just gone early on this run. Not that far offside, actually, on the ball over from Diaz. It's a shame. A free kick to Villa, which wasn't there, but they've given it there anyway. Douglas Luiz sends it forward. Luca Dean has to go back to Pau Torres, who won the Europa League, of course, with Villarreal against Manchester United in one final. Very good player, Pau Torres. Very good player. Ball over the top again by Villa. It's Ollie Watkins who beats Ruben Diaz to it. Watkins looking to get it on his right foot. Watkins pulls it back to McGinn, who can't control it. Ruben Diaz scuffs it away. But the ball in behind City, so easy. One pass in behind you and Lockers. Foden wins a goal kick here, after flicking off Leon Bailey. But the ball in behind Manchester City every time Villa are looking for it. And Neil's a Villa fan. Well, I really like Villa, Neil. I really like the way you play. I'm a big fan of Spanish football. I've been a fan of Unai Emery for a very long time. And what he's done at Villa, he's brilliant. You've got so many likeable players, so many players that are doing so well. And I hope you get top 4 this season. I do hope Villa get top 4 this season. I think they probably deserve it. They're a very historically successful club, aren't they? That have been in the shadow for a long while now. So hopefully they do well. I love Unai Emery. I love the way his teams play. Alvarez from Manchester City. Here's John Stones from the midfield. Driving forward. Stones cuts inside. A big kick on him by John McGinn. Right in the ankle of John Stones. As he then looked to release Rico Lewis. And it could have been a yellow card, that, from John McGinn. Just the situation City were in. Oh, it's a really nasty kick by McGinn, that one, actually. Stones flicks it past him. Big left foot swipe on the right ankle of John Stones from the captain, John McGinn. Was a real all-action player, isn't he, John McGinn? Reminds me a little bit of James Milner, McGinn. That sort of player that he can play literally anyway. It's a definite yellow, says Chris. I thought so as well, especially in the position City were in. We had Rico Lewis and plenty of players in space. I thought it was wrong not to give the yellow card there, but the referee decides against it. Stones has been caught in possession here, but it's gone out, deflected out. Flicked out by Villa for a throw into Manchester City. Here's Walker. Akanji, back to Akanji by Walker. And we've got Ollie Watkins stood marking out Ederson. We can't pass to him. They found a pass through to Ederson just. Well played, Eddie. And into the middle towards Julian Alvarez. Round the corner to John Stones. Back to Alvarez again. Phil Foden. Alvarez blocked off by Kamara. Alvarez, lovely feet, keeps it. Alvarez tries to skip past Kamara. Flicks it out for a throw into Aston Villa. Alvarez throw it came off the Frenchman. I don't think he did. I think Alvarez is being, he's been very good this season, Alvarez. He's been very clutch in certain times, coming on and making the difference. I think he's had a bit of an unfair criticism in the last few games, Alvarez. And what I'd like to add is, he's not really a midfielder, is he? He's a striker. And that means that he hasn't got the control of an Ilkay Gundogan or the passing range of a De Bruyne or a Gundogan. He's not that player. He's never played there, and I think he's doing pretty well under the circumstances. That's a late one by Watkins on Kyle Walker from behind here. He's not going to get a yellow card for this one. I think Watkins slipped there, but he comes right from behind and takes Kyle Walker out. Gary thinks City are going to win 10-0. Well, you might be right, but you might also be wrong there, Gary. I bet the odds are pretty good for that one. The late one by Watkins. Thinks he could win it, he can't do. Haaland to score 5, says Gary. Well, you never know. If you're right at the end, we're 20 minutes in already, nearly 20 minutes in. If you're right with that one, that is one incredibly good prediction. Ruben Diaz for Manchester City on the centre circle. Kyle Walker, nowhere to go for Walker. Threads it through the iron to Haaland pretty well. Akanji, ball in behind here, and lucky. Akanji goes and wins it back. Plays it wide right to Bernardo, and luckily there for Manu Akanji. Bernardo paints Luca Dean. Bernardo. Luca Dean stays with him. Bernardo Silva. Kyle Walker. Across from Walker to the far post. Foden's there in the volley. Phil Foden air shot. Completely misses it. And it rolls out for a throw into Villa. Poor from Foden. Kyle Walker actually puts a good cross in, which happens once in a blue moon. It's lifted really well to the far post to Phil Foden. And on the volley, completely misses the ball. I think he just loses the flight of it here, Phil Foden, and misses the ball completely, goes out for a throw into Aston Villa. It's a shame, because that would have been a nice goal. And actually, a Kyle Walker, really good cross. Mistake by Baboucarr Kamara. Passes the ball straight out for a throw into Manchester City. That's poor from the former Marseille man in midfield. Josh Gvardiol for City. He throws it back to Ruben Dias. Kyle Walker. Options out right with Bernardo Silva. Pressed by Ollie Watkins and Yuri Tillemans, who are the two up top with Bailey on this far right hand side. Walker finds Haaland. Haaland across to Alvarez. Back out to Ruben Dias. Dias for City. Vardiol. Akanji. Back to Josh Gvardiol. City are struggling to find a way through Villa at times. Villa, their pressing is very, very good. They press in that shape of that 4-4-2 shape. They like to keep a high line. You think City be looking for that ball in behind to Haaland. They once got it right nearly with a ball through twice. With a ball through to Haaland. One that came off and one that didn't. City have had 63% possession so far. So they found their way into this game, Manchester City, after a shaky start. Villa have had chances, but Manchester City had the two best chances. Both fell to Erling Haaland. Ruben Dias for City on this left-hand side of the defence. Kyle Walker in space on the right. Walker arms stretched, picks up the ball from Ruben Dias. Walker for City. Options in behind. Walker tries to switch the play to Foden. That's a lovely ball by Kyle Walker. Foden's ahead of Emery. Back onto his right foot. Phil Foden rolls it across the box to John Stones. Stones keeps it. Stones eventually works it wide to Bernardo Silva. Stones runs through the channel here. Stones on the overlap. Stones looks across it and he can't control the ball, can John Stones. Great play from City. Stones receives it in the wide right hand space like a winger. Makes a really good run after a good pass out wide to Bernardo. Doesn't, stand and admire his pass. Gets it back, and then as he looks to try and cut it back into his left foot, he's got John McGinn right on top of him, and he ends up miscontrolling it, and it goes out for a goal for Aston Villa. Chance wasted for Manchester City. Villa take the goal kick short. Emi Martinez clips it into the path of Luca Dean, who's pressed by Bernardo Silva, and does well into Douglas Luiz, who's got nice silky feet there. Rico Lewis thought for a second he might win it off Douglas Luiz, but he controlled it well, flicked it one way, back the other, and then just took the sting out of City's press and made sure Villa got the ball back. Here's Kamara White to Ezri Konsa on the right hand side. Konsa clips one in behind to Leon Bailey, who once again is in behind this Manchester City defence. It's all over the place. Space for Douglas Luiz in the wide area. Leon Bailey goes for a wonder strike. It's down the middle. Edison gets a hand on it and tips it over the mat. Good chance for Villa. Just one ball over the top again to Leon Bailey. Drifts inside this time. Hammers one with his left foot. He's swerving and dipping. This venomous strike from the Jamaican. It's right down the middle, and Edison has to use his left hand and just tip it up and over the bar. Chris says, as usual, lots of decent build-up, and then it all goes to pot. City's issue lies within the both boxes at the moment, doesn't it? Although, I don't know. I mean, I don't think defending the boxes, I suppose it is, but at the moment, Villa shouldn't be able to unlock us with one pass, should they, really? The finishing isn't there. The killer pass isn't there. And the defensive awareness isn't there either for Manchester City at the moment. Corner for Aston Villa to swing in with Luca Dean. It's a nice swing in here. Great chance. City try to get that away. Falls to McGinn at the edge of the box. John McGinn with a left-footed strike. Blocked away by Erling Haaland. Back to Douglas Luiz, who hits one himself. Drags it wide and it deflects off a Manchester City player. It's another corner for Aston Villa here, says the referee. Well, good chance there. City can't capitalise on it. Well, Manchester United lead at Old Trafford against Chelsea. 1-0. A goal in the 19th minute by Scott McTominay. All the other results around the Premier League remain the same. Corner for Villa from the far side, the left-hand side. Douglas Luiz plays it short to McGinn. McGinn onto his right foot. John McGinn strike! Down the middle, into the hands of Edison. Easily dealt with by the Brazilian. McGinn there looked like he's playing it back wide to Luiz. Cut inside to on his right foot. Very two-footed as well, McGinn. But he just couldn't get the strike right. Here's John Stones. Found a really nice pocket space. Rico Lewis. Lost it, Lewis. That's poor from Rico. In the centre. And Aston Villa come the other way. Here's John McGinn. Julian Alvarez tracking back. Alvarez. Rico Lewis goes and wins it back for City. Back to Villa again. Lewis chasing. Alvarez in there. Still with John McGinn. A little bit of a pull on the shoulder by Julian Alvarez. And John McGinn goes down at the slightest of touches. Free kick. Aston Villa in a good position. And Villa are very good from set-piece situations. Well, Alvarez just puts a fingertips on the shoulder of John McGinn, and John McGinn goes down from that touch. It was never enough to make him drop to his knees. But Alvarez puts his hands on McGinn and gives the referee this decision to make, and he decides that it'll go Villa's way. I've noticed Edison is wearing elbow pads recently under his shirt. Just noticed then under his shirt he's got elbow pads, Edison, which perhaps helps him with diving around. Just on his right elbow, however. Just on his right elbow. So free kick. Douglas Luiz has got the quality to shoot from here and score. And if you saw his delivery against Spurs the other week, which he whipped in towards Pau Torres' head, he's very good. I think Douglas Luiz from this sort of range will go for goal here, the Brazilian. Luiz steps up. The Villa players will be there to try and follow it in. Douglas Luiz clips it over the defence. It's a poor ball, actually. Easily headed away by Akanji and Rico Lewis up towards Carlos. In towards Leon Bailey. Bailey for Aston Villa up against Phil Foden. Foden stays tight to him. Bailey's got nowhere to go. Leon Bailey goes back centrally towards Baboucarr Kamara. Douglas Luiz. Luiz for Villa. Back into Kamara again. Kamara drives forward for Villa. Ezri Konsa. An outside of boot pass goes all the way back towards Emi Martinez. Villa will have to start again here. Luiz. Nice play by him. Douglas Luiz. Wide towards Pau Torres. Great movement from Unai Emery's Villa. Unai Emery's very, very animated on the sideline here for Villa. You can see him throughout the match here. He is kicking every ball, it feels like, passing everything. Ball by Diego Carlson behind towards Watkins. It's just fine, Watkins. I don't know how. Past 3 City players. Watkins skips away from Kyle Walker brilliantly. Ollie Watkins here. Watkins striking the right foot. Blocked away by John Stones. Sliding in. City struggling. Those balls in behind by Villa so far have been fantastic. Concept. Leon Bailey on this right hand side up against Vardiol. Bailey, little step over. Leon Bailey. Vardiol lets him go. Rico Lewis can't make the challenge here. Ezri Konsa. Kamara. Konsa again. All the way back towards Carlos and Villa start again. Go back to Emi Martinez. Villa have their own little spell of possession right now. Diego Carlos on the far right side. It's pretty much in a fullback position there. He's that wide. Pressing by Rico Lewis and Kamara. And Rico Lewis hunts down goalkeeper Martinez. So is Bernardo Silva for Pau Torres, who plays a nice ball into Kamara. And Villa play out that press really well again. Douglas Luiz looking for an option. Finds Diego Carlos. Luiz wants it back here. Carlos brings it forward into Yuri Tillemans. Good play from the Belgian. And wide to Leon Bailey, who's got a run at Josh Vardiol here. Bailey onto that left foot. Skips past Vardiol. Bailey gets the cross to the far post. A free header for Watkins. Luckily, the cross was slightly overhit. Haaland goes and picks it up for City, but that's really poor. And Haaland clears it away from Manchester City, but that's really poor from Joshko Vardiol. How many times now, Vardiol and Walker both in the wide areas are letting crosses come in way too easy. They just let the cross come in, and you want Diaz to deal with it every time, and Diaz can't deal with it every time. Kamara, lovely little clip in towards Tillemans here. Yuri Tillemans. Lovely skill by Tillemans as well, away from both Foden and Akanji. Sold them both there. Both went one way, little drag back by Tillemans, took the ball away. Carlson to Pau Torres. Pau Torres balling behind towards Watkins, and Ruben Diaz just gives it straight back to Villa. Really poor from Ruben Diaz. Kyle Walker makes a foul. Free kick Villa. Stupid from Walker, but really poor from Diaz. Really poor from Ruben Diaz there with the clearance. Crystal City looking like a mid-table side at the moment. Well, yeah. On the ball and defensively, City looks so poor. Villa look the better team. It's silly from Walker, this foul. You know, your captain shouldn't be making that challenge, but he has to make that challenge once Diaz has given the ball away so cheaply. I mean, he passed it to Walker, and Walker's got Digne on the run on him. You know, Digne's already on the blind side of him and running, and Diaz tries to pass it to him. I mean, anyone could see that wasn't going to happen. Anyone. John McGinn is standing on goalkeeper Edison here from a free kick, which is an interesting decision from Villa. McGinn trying to stop Edison from seeing it. Well, John McGinn is stood right on top of Edison from a free kick. He's in an offside position, so surely if they shoot here, McGinn will be offside because John McGinn blocks the eye line of Edison. I've never seen anything like this before, but Villa are going to try it. Well, anything they do here, John McGinn's in offside position and he blocks the eye line of Edison. So we'll have to see. Well, John McGinn's moved away now. Douglas Luiz swinging to Ezri Konsa, who beats Edison to it, but gets underneath it and over the bar by Ezri Konsa. Well, a ball put into a very good position by Douglas Luiz. Ezri Konsa beats Akanji in the air. Edison comes out with the hands to try and claim it. He's nowhere near it. Ezri Konsa beats him to it, but heads it over bars, Konsa. City get away with one there. If Konsa heads that down, Villa take the lead. Edison. Goal kick is switched to the right side to Kyle Walker. Walker back to Diaz. City have done a lot of playing the ball out the back and not much of getting it forward, really, for quite a while now. Bad ball, but Rico Lewis makes the most of it. Little flicking towards Haaland. Bernardo into the centre to Julian Alvarez, who's got to turn quickly here. Alvarez turns for City. Julian Alvarez here. Wide left to Phil Foden. Haaland in the box. Back towards Vardiel goes City. Vardiel's wanting a pass. He finds Akanji. Alvarez in great space here. Akanji goes through to Alvarez with a ball. Alvarez across the box to Haaland here. And Pau Torres, with a wonderful bit of defending, flicks it over his own crossbar. In the end, it's offside to the linesman. Nice reverse ball by Akanji. Alvarez in space, but he's gone too early, the Argentinian again. We'll have to see it once more. Does he go too early here, Alvarez? He's offside, Julian Alvarez certainly is. He looks to try and put it to Haaland for a tapping at the far post. Pau Torres, really good defender. I don't know how Pau Torres there. He sort of sticks a leg out as the keeper misses it. And he flicks it over his own crossbar. That is impressive defending from Pau Torres. A player that I think Manchester City are very interested in. If they couldn't secure Josh Gvardiol, I think Pau Torres would have been the one to replace Aymeric Laporte. Nice ball by Emi Martinez out towards Luca Dean on the far side. All the results in the Premier League still remain the same. After 30 minutes of football, United, it's still 1-0 to them against Chelsea. But Al Silva can't cut this one out. Luca Dean gets there. John McGinn. Clipped him behind to Luca Dean. Kyle Walker out position here. Luca Dean into the box here. Ruben Diaz missed it. Leon Bailey onto the end of it. Slams it over the bar. But I tell you what, Aston Villa are creating chances for fun here against Manchester City. Luca Dean, little 1-2 with John McGinn. Continues his run. Kyle Walker decides he won't go with him. Clipped him behind to Luca Dean. Lifts one up for Leon Bailey. Beats Akanji to it and Diaz will just throw legs at it. And Bailey puts it over the bar. Manchester City, they look so easy to break down and open up, don't they, defensively? They really do. Edison once again goes wide to Walker. I think City need to go back to basics a little bit. And in terms of that, I mean, get Akanji back on the right-hand side. Ake back on the left-hand side of the defence. Oh, Vardiol's give it away right in front of his box here. Yuri Tillemans, a tackle by Vardiol just to stop Villa from scoring an empty net there. Alvarez, well done by Foden, plays it in behind and Haaland stopped his run. City are terrible. Vardiol there, giving it away in front of his own box. Went and made the tackle to win it back and stopped Tillemans from shooting an empty net because Edison was out of his goal. Right at the edge of his box there. Edison moves to receive the pass and Vardiol gives it away. Villa, McGinn again turning Rico Lewis in the midfield. City looks so poor. They look like they've got way more legs than Manchester City. We're looking increasingly clueless, as Chris, yeah. Defensively and offensively. I mean, nothing's working going forward. It's even worse in the back line. McGinn. Rico Lewis chases. Here's Diego Carlos. Ezri Konsa. Back he goes to Emi Martinez. Here's the Argentinian. Right-footed switch out towards Luca Dean, who beats Kyle Walker in the air. Walker losing the aerial battle there. Diaz into Stones, who turns. John Stones. No options. Stones slips on the ball as he looks to pass it. And Walker sets up Ollie Watkins nearly for a one-on-one with goalkeeper Edison. What are we doing? Kyle Walker and John... But I mean, the mistakes City are making are schoolboy errors. First Stones slips on the ball and gives it away. Luckily, it falls to Walker and tries to pass it back to Edison. And nearly puts a through ball through to Ollie Watkins. One-on-one with Edison. Luckily, Watkins can't control it. Well, Luca Dean's gone down here under the challenge from Kyle Walker before they both went for the header. Kyle Walker threw an elbow out there at Luca Dean. That will be a painful one for the Frenchman. And in my opinion, Villa have got a better left-back on the bench in Alex Moreno. If they brought him on, I think they'd play even better. Well, the camera highlights Josh Gvardiol here, who made it an absolute shocker of a pass back to Edison, back towards Akanji. But he got in and made the challenge on Yuri Tillemans just to stop Villa from scoring. Tillemans had a free goal. Vardiol got across and put a foot in, sliding in. Last-ditch challenge. On Walker, Diaz and Vardiol. A lot of having a big talk here together. John Stones is getting a pep talk from Guardiola. City are trying to figure things out. Pep Guardiola calls over a few more Manchester City players. It's Erling Haaland now he's having a talk to as well. Unai Emery gives the team talk to quite a few Villa players. Yuri Tillemans, the main one, he's in discussions with. Unai Emery, a master tactician, someone who looks at the little things, the details a lot. Alvarez, Bernardo, Haaland having a talk with Pep. Haaland just telling Pep not to get in trouble as the fourth official, Anthony Taylor, tells him to step back. And Luca Dean here is saying to fourth official Anthony Taylor that Kyle Walker should be sent off for an elbow into the ribs. I think Kyle Walker does purposely jump into Luca Dean. I'm not sure he goes with the elbow. Bernardo Silva's having a bit of a laugh with Luca Dean here. Bernardo's laughing. I think Anthony Taylor as well. The fourth official's having a bit of a laugh there. They don't believe that it was a red card. It was just a coming together. But Walker did put his elbow into the ribs of Luca Dean. Whether it's intentional or not, I don't know. Luca Dean has to wait off the pitch now for 30 seconds under the new guidelines, the new rule from the Premier League. Walker into Rico Lewis. Lovely pass. Rico. Shocking ball by Rico. I tell you what, Rico Lewis having a really poor game in midfield. Poor pass by him. They go back to Pau Torres. Emi Martinez has no option but to send it along towards Ollie Watkins. And Ruben Diaz takes the stinger right, takes it down. Stones back to Diaz. Well done, City. Well, Brighton lead by 2-1 against Brentford now. They have taken the lead at the Amex. Fulham lead by 3-0 over Forest. Really good performance by Alvarez. Oh, Alvarez, not feet quick enough there. Akanji made such a good run. Such a good run. Diego Carlos. Wide right to Conte. Here's Conte for Villa. Douglas Luiz under pressure from Rico Lewis. Holds off Rico Lewis. He's with him. And they give a free kick Villa's way for being too aggressive there. The referee says no advantage. You can take the free kick. Douglas Luiz will take it quickly, will it? Throws it forward and lets Diego Carlos take it. Well, there's not so much energy in the game at the moment. And if any side's got any energy, it's Aston Villa. Villa have had 11 shots, 4 on target. Manchester City, 2 shots, 2 on target. That tells you all you need to know about the domination from Aston Villa here. 11 shots to City's 2. Shows the side that really is creating the chances here. Oh, Bernardo Silva keeps it in and gives it straight to Villa. And a ball in behind to Watkins here. And a foot race with Ruben Diaz, which he wins. And back to Edison. But every touch from Manchester City looks poor. Every pass looks off it. City just do not look like Manchester City at all. And if I was Pep Guardiola, I'd be getting very worried in the sidelines. Here's Ruben Diaz for City at the heart of defence. Bernardo Silva's dropped into the right centre-back role. Walker's gone wide right. Can City create something? Bernardo wide to Walker. Lewis makes a run in behind. Centre to Stones. Stones for City. The spaces are so tight from Villa. City really need to look at that ball in behind towards Haaland. I think that's where we could unlock them. I think especially his physicality against Pau Torres, who I don't think is the most physical. Carlos would be able to keep up with Haaland maybe. He's physical. But certainly Pau Torres wouldn't be able to. But City at the moment seem to want to do everything in front of Aston Villa. Why can't they play the ball in behind? The 2 times we played the ball in behind, we've unlocked them again. Big challenge and Rico Lewis, who's lost it again here. John McGinn towards Babukar Kamara. Rico Lewis can't win it back, but Rico Lewis looks out of his depth in midfield today. But he's not the only one. He's not the only one. It's easy to pick out a young player like that, but he's lost the ball time and time again, Rico Lewis. Doesn't seem to understand the surroundings. Villa, the energy they bring, the intensity. They're not giving City time to breathe in the ball at all, especially midfield. Kamara onto Diego Carlos. Forward towards Ollie Watkins, who takes it away, spins Ruben Diaz brilliantly. Watkins in behind to Leon Bailey, who's away from Vardiel again. And Josh Vardiel uses his physicality well. Beats Leon Bailey to it in the end of the cutback. Forward and back to Vardiel. Akanji. Nice touch by Akanji. Brings it out from the defence here. Manu over towards Stones. And Stones lets it run to Walker. That's well played by City. Alvarez in space. Walker goes into Rico Lewis here. Can City unlock Villa? Rico. Lewis. Under pressure from Kamara. Gets a little kick on Rico Lewis. Takes a chunk out of him. Bernardo Silva takes it past Luca Dean. Bernardo. Advantage played. And then the referee pulls it back. Well, the advantage didn't last long. City take it quickly. John Stones. City want to keep the move flowing. Stones. Foden's got to make a movement for Stones there. Stones today is looking around and saying, you know, why is no one making a movement for me in that forward line? We aren't even trying to spring the offside trap anymore, says Chris. Yeah, I mean, Villa are playing a really ridiculously good high line at the moment. It's working for them. They do that. But, you know, with the pace of Haaland in behind, you'd think we'd be looking to him or looking for someone to make the runs in behind. And we aren't doing. I don't know why. That's what the only 2 shots we've had have both come from those situations. Well, 2 chances we've had. Vardiel. Back he goes to Edison. This is poor from City. And Aston Villa, Unai Emery, will be the happier of the 2 managers surely. Ruben Diaz. Alvarez drops deep. Terrible ball by Alvarez. Douglas Luiz gives it away. He's not a midfielder, Alvarez. We've got to stop this now. He's a striker. Leon Bailey spins Alvarez. 1-on-1 with Vardiel here. Into the middle towards Tielemans. Chance to Douglas Luiz here. Douglas Luiz in the box. Good touches by Luiz. Back out to Ezri Konsa. Douglas Luiz gets himself back on side. Swung in by Luiz to the far post over everyone. Bernardo Silva takes it on his chest and then clears it away. Edison had it. Bernardo clears it straight to Luca Dean. Swung in by Luca Dean. It's overhit from everyone. Might go out for a throw-in for City this one. Douglas Luiz just keeps it in. Here's Ezri Konsa. Well, Villa, if they had a better killer pass, City could be 2 or 3 a bit down, especially with the finishing as well. Konsa. Ezri Konsa back to Diego Carlos. So credit to Aston Villa, who were far the better side here today. Far the better side. Diego Carlos long. Manu Akanji down. Tillerman's away. Here's Leon Bailey, who's caused so many problems. Bailey, little step overs. Lovely feet by Bailey. Quick feet past Akanji. Bailey still. Douglas Luiz. City will be very lucky to go in at 0-0 at half-time here. Aston Villa have been fantastic. Ball out towards Yuri Tillemans here. Tillemans beats Phil Foden. Cross comes in. Cross to the chance and away by John Stones in the box of Manchester City. City get away with the one again. Long ball up to Haaland here. Haaland holds it up. Haaland under pressure from Pau Torres. Plays it to Bernardo Silva. Can City get a counter-attack going perhaps here? No. The intensity by Villa is rushed way too much. John McGinn tackles Bernardo Silva. Villa have it back. Bernardo Silva's been terrible. And Villa give it away as Manu Akanji. But Aston Villa have been absolutely brilliant. Bernardo Silva's been terrible. Rico Lewis has been terrible. Given away by City again. Aston Villa a chance. Douglas Luiz a strike. Over the bar. But Manchester City consistently giving the ball away to Villa. Consistently performing poorly. And we've got to stop looking. With City at the moment, we're always looking for that short pass where the midfield drop in and we pass it to Alvarez or Rico Lewis. And Villa know that. So play it in behind to Haaland. They want to mark us tight on the short pass. Go for the ball in behind, but we're not doing it. It's poor. If we're going to score, it's going to be a ball through the line to Haaland, but we're scared to try it, says Chris. Exactly. That is exactly it, Chris. I think an idiot could see that, couldn't they? Anyway, I can see that, and I'm not Pep Guardiola. Villa with a chance again here. Ball into the box. Just over Yuri Tillemans. Stop playing the short pass, City. Every time you want Alvarez to drop deep or Rico Lewis, and Villa are on them straight away. You can see them behind. Stop thinking that Alvarez and Rico Lewis are physical enough to hold the ball up. Ederson's now sliced it into the stands. Throwing for Villa. More increased pressure for Manchester City. We've got to, when we get in that position, see that the Villa defender or the midfielder or the fullback switches onto our midfielder dropping deep and play the ball in behind where there's space. Or into Haaland. Try go route one. I don't know why we don't do it. But we're struggling like mad here. Ezri Konsa. Villa dominating possession, shooting opportunities, creative ability, defensive ability, everything. Aston Villa the better side. Pau Torres is lucky not to be desped by Bernardo Silva there. Rico Lewis can't keep it. John McGinn with the ball in behind. Ruben Diaz with a sliding interception, which is massive. Rico back to Walker. Into Haaland. City have got to move the ball quicker. City have got to move with the ball with more purpose at the moment rather than just trying to keep the ball. Diaz. Walker. Finally, play the ball in behind. It's to Alvarez, who takes a really poor touch up against Ezri Konsa, but he's fighting with Konsa to try and keep it there, Alvarez. Konsa still. Finally, play the ball in behind, and we nearly get a chance. Give it away to Alvarez, who flicks it back into Akanji. Footing by Akanji. Beats Tillemans to it. Referee says no foul. Free kick Aston Villa. Aston Villa are absolutely first to everything. City play the ball in behind. Kyle Walker with a decent pass. It was a better touch by Alvarez. City are in 1-on-1 with Martinez there. And is it crazy that the 3 shots we've had, or the 3 chances we've created, have all come from balls in behind the Villa defence? Stop being scared to play it. And, you know, if we keep playing those balls in behind the defence and keep unlocking them, surely, I mean, you'd think so, Villa become a little less brave, they step a little bit off and put the defensive line a little bit deeper, and then we can play in those little pockets of space and play those passes we want to play. But until then, test the back line. Test the back line, Manchester City. Here's Emi Martinez. John McGinn. Lovely spin in the middle by McGinn. And he's got our 3... Stones, Bernardo Silva and Rico Lewis all cannot going to get the ball off McGinn there. Luca Dean with a spin. Rico Lewis the foot in. It's a foul for Villa again. Rico Lewis too aggressive on Luca Dean. City are being rung ragged in that midfield. The midfield is struggling humongously. James says we're going to win because Man City are just better. Well, I hope you're right. I hope that the quality of some of the players outdo it today. But I tell you what, looking at this team today, James, the quality seems like it's in Villa's favour. They seem like a higher quality team at the moment. Stones are foul again in the centre circle. A free kick to Villa. And the referee is giving John Stones a yellow card here. Well, Villa in a counter-attacking position. Stones gets booked and City's midfield becomes even less effective now with Stones unable to make a challenge in fear of a red card. Alvarez miscontrolled that one, but we try, and that's a few times we get through there. Yeah, exactly, Chris. The 3 times we've played the ball in behind, we've had a chance. Stones isn't playing well. I suppose he's rusty on his first game back, John Stones. Here's Concert. We approach the 45th minute. Interesting to know how much added time there'll be. Yuri Tillemans into Abubakar Kamara. Ball through to Watkins. What a ball. He gets it stuck under his heels, but it falls to McGinn. John McGinn back to Watkins. Ollie Watkins, 1-on-1 with Ederson. Ederson comes out and makes the save. Unlucky Villa. Luca Dean. McGinn back to Luca Dean, who just can't keep that ball in, can he? Douglas Luiz with a header! And Aston Villa take the lead. But I think the ball went out of play on the far side. But did the full ball go out of play? Did the full ball go out of play? Luca Dean clips it in to the left-hand side, but did the full ball go out of play? No, it didn't. I don't think it did. I think you're going to say that Douglas Luiz has given Aston Villa a lead against... Oh, no, it did. The ball looks like it went out of play there. But it depends on the angles, doesn't it? Yeah, the ball did go out of play. It is a... It's a goal disallowed. Douglas Luiz, unfortunately for Villa. But I mean, Villa, if Villa scored there, it's what they deserve. It is what Aston Villa deserve, without a doubt. Here's Ederson for Manchester City. Ruben Diaz. Just no one to pass to. Diaz looks long and just gives it straight back to Aston Villa. Luca Dean back in towards Douglas Luiz. City win it back in the midfield. Rico Lewis, good play by Rico. Now's your chance, Rico, to pounce. Lewis got to pass it. Finally does wide to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo for City. City, can they nick this before half-time? Bernardo to the far post. Phil Foden is there. Esri Konsa heads it behind. And it's for a goal kick. Well, Phil Foden waits at the far post and Esri Konsa flicks it on. Sophie says it's 1-1 in the Manchester United game. Chelsea have pulled one back then. Well, Phil Foden clips the... Bernardo Silva clips to the far post. Konsa looks to head it. It's Cole Palmer, former Manchester City man, who scores. And it's his first goal from open play, I think, for Cole Palmer. For Chelsea. 2 added minutes here at Villa Park. But I'm expecting Aston Villa to come away with 3 points, judging by this first 45 minutes anyway. And Villa will feel like they've missed the trick, really, not taking the lead here, because City could come out a different side this second half. The first half, Aston Villa deserve to be 2 or 3 goals up. They really do. They've created chances. They just haven't got the finishing touch. Stones lose the header. Walker loses the header out to John McGinn. McGinn with a poor touch to Diaz, who takes it away. And then Diaz gives it back to McGinn. Throwing for City. That's the half-time whistle. Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. How many chances have Villa, says Neil? Aston Villa should be 2 or 3-0 up here. They're absolutely all over Manchester City. They've been the better side than Manchester City. They've created more chances. They've looked better defensively. They've looked like they want it more. They've been so aggressive on the ball. Aston Villa are a brilliant team, and they've shown it today against Manchester City, who are the current champions of the Premier League, but look far, far from it, don't they? So half-time, City 0, Aston Villa 0. Pep Guardiola's got a lot of talking to do with his team at half-time in a way to try sort of figure it out. You know, Villa have been so good. I mean, I think Villa's issue is here that they should have taken the lead. They should be 2 or 3-0 up and have they put this game beyond Manchester City. You know the quality Manchester City have, and as a City fan, I'm hoping we just come out a different team in the second half, because if we come out anything like that, Aston Villa, I think, will go on and win this game. They have the quality. City have been shocking. They really have. Half-time 0-0. I'm going to have a little break over half-time. For you guys to talk amongst yourselves in the chat, feel free to, because I'm sure there's plenty of opinions amongst all you guys here, which is great to see. And I'll be back for the second half, where we'll cover all the action, where I'm hoping for a City win. But at the moment, it's looking likely we see an Aston Villa win. We'll see you one in just a few moments' time. Around 10 minutes or so, I'll be back before the second half. It's Haaland, and here in career mode, City have won the lot. Rodri on the chance! Goal in the final by Rodri! Jude Bellingham will not be coming to Manchester City. We are Premier League champions, City FC, our champions series based on the World Cup with music videos, football and more. Get your official City FC merchandise. Join us as we explore historic Europe and football.
sound the same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy. But maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. I do you do cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. Oh, my darkest memories, now let me fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. You can get away with it. Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do cause I'm feeling so good. Watch I look, I'm jugging. Dissect your hand if your hand am I putting, put two in your man if your man keep a looking. Act like a poopy, your bitch get tookin'. I'm not the type to go with them niggas who fuck with them niggas who stay on some fish. Oh, young and trapping out the bando, from the ceiling fan to the damn floor, trying to stack my money up. Cause that's the only way we can go. Tell my mama that I'm okay. See the money coming through the doorway. Got a bad bitch with a lot of money, that's foreplay. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. Trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
It's Haaland, and here in career mode, City have won the lot. Rodri on the chance! Goal in the final by Rodri! Jude Bellingham will not be coming to Manchester City. We are Premier League champions, City FC, our champions. Series based on the World Cup with music videos, football and more. Get your official City FC merchandise. Join us as we explore historic Europe and football. Hello, welcome back to the second half of Manchester City versus Aston Villa. City are having a little bit of talk in the team, in the tunnel as a team, with Erling Haaland and Edison talking and so on. City have got to change something in the second half because that is probably one of the worst first halves we'll see. Like Six says, disaster, 52% possession and 3 shots or something, Petley mad. Well, there's a stat at half time that came out which said that Aston Villa have created more chances and had more shots in those first 45 minutes than any side has ever done against Manchester City in Pep Guardiola's era. So that shows you how poor that first half was. A lot of criticism online for Rico, Luis and Alvarez, who I don't think have played well. We lack a lot of creativity, and those are supposed to be the creative hubs in this team, Luis and Alvarez, which they haven't been. But one thing I want to say about Rico, Luis and Alvarez is those two are dropping deep into the midfield. And the Villa players are on them straight away. The guy's passing it to it. There's no point passing it to Alvarez and Luis when they've got 2 or 3 players on them because it's going to be so difficult for them to actually get on the end of it. So we need to stop doing that because we're making them look worse than they are. City's bench is not particularly strong tonight. I mean, Mateus Nunes or Oscar Bob are the only two I'd consider bringing on. I think Kovacic should have a negative impact, to be honest with you. Second half between City and Villa is about to kick off. 45 minutes of hopefully different football for Manchester City. It's got to be. It's got to be, hasn't it? Otherwise, City will lose here, and then we're on a downward spiral. Second half underway, City versus Villa, and Diego Carlos gives it straight away to Manchester City. Here's Phil Foden. City straight away. That's a really poor pass by Diego Carlos right at the start of the game. Bernardo. Wide to Phil Foden. He's an absolute country mile offside there, Phil Foden. What is he doing? I tell you what, a lot of bad sort of social media response to Rico Lewis's performances and so on. But I think Bernardo Silva, as an experienced player, has been atrocious. The City have changed things around. Rico Lewis has gone wide right, and Bernardo Silva has gone alongside Alvarez in the midfield with Akanji and Stones in behind. We'll see how that works. Colin says, come on, City. Well, come on, City, we can't be any worse. I think Kyle Walker is your captain as well. He's been embarrassing defensively. Walker for City plays it forward towards Bernardo Silva. Kyle Walker seems like he's not interested at all to try and actually defend. I mean, he's not interested in stopping a cross or making a tackle. I think we lost probably every 50-50. Well, City have changed the shape in this second half. We've gone Stones and Diaz in the back line, Vardy at left back and Walker at right back. And then it's Akanji at holding midfield with Bernardo Silva and Alvarez in front. Interesting from Pep Guardiola to change things that drastically. City have gone to a back four. Let's see if that back four works. Diaz. Walker. Akanji. Akanji turns and then goes back to Ederson. Well, City have actually strung a few passes together, but they've not been forward quite yet. And it's the forward passes where the issues tend to lie with this team at the moment. Diaz towards Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo goes in towards Ruben Diaz. Diaz towards John Stones. City trying it. Work their way through if they can. Trying to get the ball through. Ruben Diaz. John Stones. Stones for City. Back out to Bernardo Silva. Options in the middle for City. And all over the place. Wide towards Kyle Walker. Here's Bernardo Silva. Bernardo. Akanji. Here is Walker into Rico Lewis, who holds him off just. Manu Akanji. City trying to create a chance now on the edge of the box. Stones. Back to Diaz. Diaz into Bernardo Silva. Here's Bernardo. Akanji. Manu Akanji across towards Vardy. Back towards Diaz. A bit of a slack pass, and Ruben Diaz lumps it out to Phil Foden, who does keep it in and knocks it in behind to Alvarez here. Up against Kamara. Alvarez uses his body well there. Julian has done really well. Alvarez. Balling towards Rico Lewis. City give it away. Luckily, he flexes the path to Manu Akanji. Akanji with the ball in behind to Kyle Walker. Header against Luca Dean. He can't win it. Chased by Walker and Dean. Walker wins it again. And referee says a free kick towards Aston Villa for a foul by Kyle Walker. Ridai is back. Great to have you, Ridai. It's been a long time since we've had you on here. We're all good, Ridai, I hope. I hope you're good. I've not seen you in a long time. Not heard from you in a long time. Where have you been, Ridai? Hopefully, you've come back to give us some luck, Ridai. And actually, Ridai, you tend to predict the scores pretty well. So if you don't mind predicting this one and saying City are going to win it, I'll be a lot calmer. Here's Diego Carlos for Villa. Conser under pressure. City pressing a bit more aggressive now, putting Villa in a bad position. Carlos. Nowhere to go. Gets the ball forward. Leon Bailey beaten to it by Vardy. Gets into Phil Foden. Well done, Joshko Vardy. Foden. Good tackle on him by Ezri Konsa. Foden gives the away a ball again. Really poor from Phil Foden. Here's Luca Dean as Villa attack the other way. Dean in behind towards Ollie Watkins and dealt with by Ruben Diaz calmly. Easily. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo. Across to Stones. He's playing left side centre back here, Stones, interestingly. Stones. Akanji. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo brings the ball forward. Wide right to Walker here. Space for the right back Walker. Driving at Luca Dean. Walker. Problem is he doesn't know what to do in that final third, Walker. Or anything over the halfway line. City end up going back to Diaz and backwards we go. Diaz. Here's Bernardo Silva. Bernardo. Walker. Options for City. Walker still back in towards Diaz. Plenty of options across that back line for City. Bernardo's gone out wide. Rico Lewis drops deep. Back to Walker. Back to Diaz. Bit of a short pass there headed Tielemans. Vardiol takes it well. Vardiol gives it away. Kamara slides in. Alvarez goes and wins it back for City. Alvarez still. He's done well there, Alvarez, actually. Kamara did really well diving in. Here is Alvarez. Phil Foden. Back to Julian. Given away by Phil Foden again. Rudice has been a trip to Dubai, also school, but most importantly, I've started playing again. My career has started again with a new team. Now climb back to my potential. Congratulations, Rudice. I'm glad to hear you're back from your ACL injury. That's a massive one. And don't rush yourself back, though. I'm glad you're playing. Don't overdo yourself. You don't want to get injured again. But I hope you have a really successful career again. And I hope Dubai was a nice trip for you, and I hope school's been going good as well. Lots going on, hasn't there, for Rudice there. Here's Bernardo. Ruben Diaz. Diaz across to Akanji. Joshko Vardiol. Vardiol. In towards Alvarez. Onto John Stones here. It's a shocking ball by Alvarez there. Stones makes a great run. Vardiol picks the right pass. And Julian Alvarez lets it skim off his right foot. It's such a lackadaisical pass from Alvarez. Stones is offside anyway. He wouldn't have counted. But that's poor from Julian Alvarez. Really poor. Concert. And Diego Carlos plays it wide and forward towards Leon Bailey. Under pressure from Vardiol. Well done, Vardiol. Bailey couldn't handle him there. Foden. Back to Vardiol. Vardiol goes back towards Manu Akanji. Wide right to Diaz. Come on, City, let's create something. If only Walker discovers early marauding himself and take players on instead of cutting back and playing it behind himself, says Chris. I remember him doing that at Spurs, to be honest with you, but I've just never seen him do it since then. His brain shuts down when he steps over the halfway line, Kyle Walker, and he can't cross. I don't think he's ever been able to cross, to be honest with you. Hardly been able to watch the City game, says Rudice. Well, you're back, you're watching them now. Good play by City. Walker, come on, let's break them down now. Walker cuts back into Rico Lewis. Under pressure from Pau Torres and loses it. Back to Walker. Stones. John Stones for Manchester City. Good spin by Stones. Bernardo's in space. Stones decides not to pass it. And he goes down and gives the ball away. So cheap from City. Luckily, Villa give it back to City. But this is better. We seem to be doing a lot better. But then that killer pass isn't there. John Stones. Bernardo Silva turns. Bernardo. Right to Rico Lewis. Rico. Into Akanji. Big touch by Akanji. Gives it away. Douglas Luiz drives away for Villa. Little pull of the shirt by Rico Lewis. And it's a yellow card for Rico. For that pull of the shirt from Douglas Luiz. Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see Matheus Nunes come on here. Rico Lewis just pulls the shirt of Douglas Luiz. Stops any opportunity of a counter-attack and takes the yellow card, does the young man. A yellow card for Lewis. Yellow card for Stones currently in that City side. Villa to take his free kick. Well, Villa haven't started the second half like the first half, but that is certainly down to Manchester City, I'm sure. Chris says Rico needs to come off. Yeah, I'd take Lewis off and bring on Matheus Nunes personally. Don't know whether Pep Guardiola would do that. Here is Emi Martinez into Kamara, who switches it out to Diego Carlos. Carlos clips into the middle. What a ball into Douglas Luiz. City's midfield's gone missing again. Douglas Luiz a ball behind to Ollie Watkins. Ruben Diaz beats into it. Edison with a heavy touch. Watkins presses. Edison left-footed switch long and away towards Alvarez. Dealt with by Concert. Kamara takes it down under pressure from Phil Foden. And goes back to Diego Carlos. Where are the troops? Arjun, Lanky, Jack, Alfie, Fuzz Asteroid, says Rudice. I don't know, Rudice. I've also been away for a few months. The videos kept going, but I was travelling Europe. And I didn't do the commentaries, and people have stopped tuning in, unfortunately. Leon Bailey, pressed by Vardiol. Esri Concert. Back to Emi Martinez. I think City will take a draw here, but it would be, what, 4 draws in a row for Manchester City. Pau Torres. Lovely ball in towards the midfield. Akanji reads it, gives it straight back to Villa. Here's John McGinn. Wide towards Luca Dean. Ruben Diaz beats him to it. Good tackle by Diaz. And back into Akanji. City get away with one. Akanji back to Edison. Back out to Walker. Villa trying to do a bit of a pressing of their own here. Kyle Walker with another poor pass. They will come soon, hopefully, says Rudice. I hope so. City giving it away again. And Kyle Walker this time. Out for a throw into City, but just the passing is so poor from Manchester City. So poor. It's unbelievable. City with a chance here. Haaland, the ball behind towards Phil Foden. Is he offside here, Foden? He shoots anyway, straight at Emi Martinez. But Phil Foden is offside. Haaland released the pass way too late. Phil Foden has a go at Haaland over that one. He's not happy. Foden saying to Haaland, play it sooner. Well, from the throw-in, Walker into Haaland. Erling does really well. Holds off Pau Torres. Makes a run towards Villa. Plays it behind to Phil Foden. But Foden's gone too early. Haaland's played it too late. And City are, in the end, an offside position. Ake in for the CDM, says Ridite. Right, I mean, after Ake's performance against Spurs, where he came on and got beaten in the air by Kulusevski, I don't think I want to bring Nathan Ake on if I was Pep Guardiola. But the thing is, we've got nothing on the bench, maybe Oscar Bob, but again, you're throwing a young player in at the deep end, expect them to, make an impact. Here's Conce, Diego Carlos, Emi Martinez, into Luca Dean, well played by Villa. They're very confident playing out from the back. Douglas Luiz clips one in behind towards Ollie Watkins. When his fires Ruben Diaz, who lumps it away and out for a throw in towards Villa. Not great from Diaz. Well, Ruben Diaz at the moment. Seems like he's not had his hair cut for a while. Seems like he's, I don't know, just not himself, Diaz. Douglas Luiz. Back he goes to Emi Martinez. Goalkeeper rings it out for Villa. Pressure from Haaland goes to his right hand side to Diego Carlos. Clips one into Douglas Luiz brilliantly. Douglas Luiz, under pressure, goes back to Martinez. Here is Emi Martinez. Kevin De Bruyne would have found countless through balls by now. Maybe Nunes can do something, says Chris. Well, I hope Matheus Nunes could do that, but I don't think he's that sort of player, Chris. He's someone who picks up the ball and drives at the opposition, Matheus Nunes, and then plays a short pass. He's got lots of energy in his game, but I don't think he's someone who can pick a pass particularly. Kamara over to Douglas Luiz, who tries to switch it. Intercepted by Vardiol. Only as far as Leon Bailey, who's beat Vardiol the first time. Vardiol stays with him and lucky not to win it there. Little shuffle by Bailey, and Akanji cuts it out and City get it back. Manu Akanji for Manchester City. Akanji gives it away. I don't know what Akanji's trying to do there. Douglas Luiz, his space here. Douglas Luiz in the left foot. Deflects off Watkins and into the hands of Edison. Really poor. De Bruyne will destroy this team already. Can't wait for him to come back. This is Ridite. Be a long time before he's back, I think, still. Douglas Luiz here shoots towards the... I don't know actually where he's shooting there. I don't know if that's sort of a pass through to Watkins. But it doesn't come off in the end. City get lucky again, defensively. Bernardo to Stones. And into Diaz. I think Rico Lewis and Matheus Nunes seems like the glaring obvious change, isn't it, really? City don't seem like they're going to make it. Pep will wait till the 90th minute when we're 4-0 down. That's just the way Pep does things at times. Diaz. Bringing the ball forward for City from centre-back. Gets towards the centre circle and clips from behind towards Phil Foden, Ruben Diaz. It's not the best of balls. Conce will beat Foden to it. And Conce keeps it in really well. Can't go back to the keeper, Conce. Where's he going to go? Sends it forward as Esri Conce. Joshko Vardiol wins it. Against Leon Bailey. Vardiol. Fouled here by Leon Bailey. It's a free kick, Manchester City. Well, Vardiol used his body really well there against Leon Bailey. Held him off. City get a free kick. The referees give a lot of free kicks like that today. Ones where you just, there's not much in it. But there's enough for the referee to think it's a foul. He caught the legs of Vardiol there, Leon Bailey. He's got his arm around the shoulder of Vardiol. And City get a free kick. I think if City win this game, they've robbed Villa. That's my opinion, even as a City fan at the moment. Set piece chance here. Alvarez and Bernardo over it. Bernardo in, everyone's offside here. And it just drifts all the way through to the side. What an absolute waste by Manchester City. Luca Dean forward. Here's John McGinn. Rico Lewis. Good physicality against McGinn. Beats him to it. Well done, Rico. That's better from Lewis. Much better. Here's Bernardo Silva. Manu Akanji. Get your head up, Manu. Wide to Rico Lewis. Rico all alone here. Needs support. Rico into Bernardo Silva. Bernardo. Akanji. I mean, we've got a centre-back playing in midfield who are not really... I mean, Akanji and Stones aren't creative players. We know that. And then you've got Walker to add to it as well, and it's just not working. In my opinion, City must get Cruz another midfielder, maybe someone young like Xavi, Simmons, or Florian Wirtz as Ridite. Florian Wirtz would be spectacular signing, wouldn't he? But it's not going to happen. Akanji, a little slap in the face on Akanji by Ollie Watkins, and Akanji's down here, and it's a yellow card for Ollie Watkins here for a slap in the face on Akanji. It's a harsh yellow card, that, but he's going to get it. But yeah, I know what you mean, Ridite. I think City needs someone like that. I think we need Lucas Paquetá would be great. It is a foul by him there. He does flick Akanji in the face. Watkins leaves a trailing arm, slaps Akanji in the jaw, and gets a yellow card for it. We need a creative player. I think a Lucas Paquetá would go a long way in January. If that betting stuff fades away from Paquetá, we need him. And I think we need a controller. We're missing that controlling player. And I think Toni Kroos as a short-term option would be brilliant. Because he is a controller. But, I mean, Kovacic isn't it, is he? Stones has lost it in midfield here. City in trouble again now. Counter for Villa. Yuri Tillemans wide to Leon Bailey. Bailey keeps it on the byline here. Bailey against Vardiol. Leon Bailey. Step overs. Bailey cuts inside. Little back heel through to Tillemans. It's brilliant. Yuri Tillemans here. Through the legs of Stones. Clipped away by Ruben Diaz. City just get it away. Alvarez against Concert. Alvarez can't win it off Ezri Concert. Kamara. Leon Bailey. Back to Kamara. My dream would be Kimmich as Radai. He'd be a decent player, wouldn't he? He would be a very decent player, Radai. Not going to happen. Apparently City agreed with Pep we wouldn't sign players from Bayern Munich or Barcelona. Here's Luka Dean, tackled by Kyle Walker. It's a corner ball for Aston Villa here. Chance from a set piece to swing one in. Options in the box for Villa. Plenty of options. Pau Torres is brilliant in the air. So is Diego Carlos. Luka Dean here. Hit the hand of Kyle Walker that. It should be a free kick Aston Villa, but he's given a corner instead, the referee. Kyle Walker very lucky not to give away a free kick there. Missed the arm of the Englishman. Corner to be taken by a set-piece master in Douglas Luiz. Swung in low. Chance for Villa. What a block by... I think it's... Well, it just hits Vardiol. Ruben Diaz clips it away. I don't know how City have got away with that one. It's bobbling around the box now. Diaz can't get it away. Pau Torres takes it down. Alvarez lumps it away. But how Manchester City have got away with it, I don't know. The cross from Douglas Luiz is swung in. And how City don't defend it away, I don't know. Really poor defending. Walker misses a header in the air against Luka Dean. Here's Douglas Luiz. Into Leon Bailey. Bailey on the left foot. Bailey looks to shoot onto the right foot. Back to the left foot by Bailey. Wide to Luka Dean. Cross comes in low. Ruben Diaz gets it away again. Walker lumps it away. Pau Torres beats Bernardo Silva to it so easily. Kamara. Whoa, beautiful skill by Tillemans. Cross by Konsa into the hands of Edison. Brilliant from Villa. Lovely flick by Tillemans. Keystone Cops defending by City, says Chris. Well, you thought after that first half, we can't get any worse defensively. I think we might be doing at times here. I mean, I think I could play in Aston Villa's midfield today and be creative. I think I could create a few chances for Villa because it's so easy. It's so easy to create chances against this Manchester City side. I could sit in that midfield for Villa. I'd probably win the ball loads of times because City just like giving it to you. They don't want a physical battle. And then just play a pass through to Watkins. It's not that hard. City just don't know what to do. I was hoping for one for City, says MK. Well, City are absolutely terrible. Well, I mean, Pep Guardiola's saying his side are in a title race this season. I think if City lose today, that's it. Even at this stage of the season. Bernardo Silva gives it away. Bernardo Silva is terrible. Gives it away. John McGinn. Pass Ruben Diaz. Oh, just past the post by McGinn. Aston Villa should be about 6-0 up. What a chance. Bernardo Silva, woeful as usual from Bernardo today. Woeful pass by Bernardo. Gives it away to Villa. Doesn't even look interested, Bernardo. McGinn cuts past Diaz and he puts it just wide of the post. Does it take fingertips off Edison? I'm not sure. Diaz sat down. Oh, it just touched the fingertips of Edison. It should be a corner. City went and bought so many defenders not to defend, says Radai. Exactly. Too many defenders now. Haaland up against Diego Carlos. Carlos pulling Haaland. Haaland wants a physical battle with him. Haaland's won it. And then he gives the free kick Aston Villa's way. Well done. Well done, referee. So, Diego Carlos wants a physical battle with Erling Haaland. Haaland gives it him. Carlos is pulling him. Haaland pulls him back. And the referee decides if Haaland gets the ball, then he gives a free kick Villa's way. Well done, linesman. How many times have we given it away from prattling around the back like that, says Chris. Bernardo Silva has been terrible. Vardiol has come out a much better player in the second half. Leon Bailey. Oh my God. 4 City players round and we can't take the ball off him. Diego Carlos away. Into the channel towards Yuri Tillemans, who flicks it round the corner to Watkins. Brilliant. Watkins. Kamara. I don't know how Villa haven't scored yet. John McGinn in space here. McGinn through to Leon Bailey. He's just kept it. He's got Luka Dean at the far post. Leon Bailey swings one in. Blocked by Vardiol. Kanji heads it away straight back to Villa. Ezri Konsa takes it down. How have Villa not scored here? They've been absolutely all over City. Here is Pau Torres. So many options, so many gaps open up in the City team. Ollie Watkins. Kamara. Back to Kamara by Tielemans. Great play. Kamara wide to Luca Dean. Wonderful from Villa. Luca Dean for Villa. Into John McGinn. Pressure from Lewis. John McGinn. Gets the ball in here. Swung out by Julian Alvarez. Or Manchester City, they'll be happy. Absolutely jubilant with a draw here today. The way we've played. Luca Dean from the left-hand side. Swung in again. Away by John Stones again. Villa absolutely dominating this City side. Absolutely all over us. Pau Torres. Douglas Luiz. It seems like a matter of when and if not if Villa score. Douglas, he reminds me of the Newcastle United game against Manchester United the other day, where Newcastle was dominated and eventually they got the goal against United. And they deserved it. They absolutely annihilated them. And City have been annihilated today. Pau Torres, John McGinn. Lovely feet by McGinn away from Bernardo Silva. It absolutely embarrasses Bernardo Silva there, John McGinn. Kamara into Tielemans. Little back heel through to Leon Bailey, trying to be too clever. Josh Vardiel away. Straight to Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey with a shot. Blocked away by Vardiel behind for a corner. This might be one of the worst Manchester City performances we've seen in the Pep Guardiola era. I don't think we've ever been dominated this much. Absolutely dominated by an unbelievable side. Villa take the corner quickly and short. Out to Luca Dean. John McGinn. Been brilliant, the captain. Flicks one in behind here. Headed away by Alvarez. Rico Lewis. Alvarez back to Rico. Can City look forward? Rico Lewis gives it straight back to Aston Villa. Rico Lewis needs to get off the field immediately. Immediately. And I think that's Nathan Ake coming on. I can't believe it. Here is Tielemans. Konsa. Kamara. The pressure from Alvarez. Leon Bailey giving away to Manu Akanji. Foul by Tielemans here. It's a free kick, Manchester City. Yuri Tielemans holds back Manu Akanji. It looks like City are going to bring on Nathan Ake and maybe Matheus Nunes here. In an attempt to try and change the game. So Matheus Nunes is going to come. He's not Nathan Ake. Mateo Kovacic and Matheus Nunes. So City change in the midfield. Pep Guardiola giving instructions to Matheus Nunes and Mateo Kovacic. Come on, Mateo Kovacic. Come on, Matheus Nunes. What is happening to City? There's no passion, no aggression, says Ridai. We're terrible. Chris is a calamity of errors. It's like half our players not on the pitch. Gone AWOL. Well, City, no doubt, are changing the midfield. I think 67 minutes too late, really. Alvarez and Rico Lewis come off. Matheus Nunes and Mateo Kovacic come on. And I feel a bit sorry for Rico Lewis and Alvarez today because City have been giving them the ball when they've got three players round them, which is not easy at all, is it? But they've been just so uncreative when that is their job. So Kovacic and Matheus Nunes come on in an attempt to try and help City out here, if we can do. If they can. And Matheus Nunes I'm looking to more. I mean, Kovacic is an experienced player. Yes, he had a really good start to his City career for the first few games. And then from there, since that injury he got away playing for Croatia, he's been absolutely diabolical. Foden, who is a shadow of his former self, Phil Foden. Really poor by him, gives it away. Konsa out wide towards Luca Dean. On the chest of the Frenchman. Away from Bernardo Silva, I think is also lucky to still be on the field here. I think if we could make a substitution, if we had an option on the bench, if Jeremy Doku were there, for example, I'd take I'd take Phil Foden off as well. Akanji in on Yuri Tielemans, so easy. Into Ezri Konsa, lovely play by Villa. Akanji gets there just. Foul by Tielemans, referee plays on. Josh Vardiel, Matheus Nunes here. Back he goes, a late one by Yuri Tielemans again, this time Matheus Nunes. Well, Tielemans loves putting his foot in late, doesn't it? Another one there from Yuri Tielemans. The only man that can save us now is Sergio Aguero, says Ridai. I think even Aguero would have a bad game. He won't score if you don't create. Oh my, the stats are absolutely embarrassing. Aston Villa 16 shots, 5 on target. Manchester City 2 shots, 2 on target. City have not even had a shot in the second half yet. I don't think we've had a shot since Haaland's first shot in the opening 10 minutes of the game. That's how bad it is. Matheus Nunes. Good play by him. Back to Akanji. Manu Akanji. Kyle Walker. Into John Stones. Stones away from Douglas Luiz here. Good challenge by Luiz. Stones can't keep it. Deflects to Kovacic. City with a chance here. Kovacic wide to Phil Foden. Foden to the far post to Haaland. It's a terrible cross by Phil Foden. Absolutely terrible by Foden. And now Villa come the other way. And in behind is Leon Bailey. One-on-one with the keeper, is he? Manu Akanji's there and puts it out for a throw-in. But Manchester City are absolutely all over the place. We should just revert to lumping it forward in the direction of Haaland, says Chris. That is all we should be doing. Stop giving it forward in the Bernardo Silva, because they couldn't do anything. They couldn't cross a road, either of them, let alone cross a ball. Lump it forward to Haaland and hope he does something. Hope he slams it in from 40 yards out. Because at the moment, there's just nothing in this team. John McGinn rides the challenger, Ruben Diaz. It's a free kick, Aston Villa. Well, John McGinn, I think, has been the best player in the field. Can see when you miss a playmaker and Kevin De Bruyne. That's why you need to look for a placement. Alvarez is looking like it, not it anymore. Alvarez is not a midfielder, is he? He's not. He can't operate in those little tiny spaces. The guy's a striker. Well, Oscar Bobb's coming on for Manchester City, so that's a big bit of trust from Pep Guardiola. And I think that is saying to Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden, whichever one comes off, you're not good enough. I think it might be Foden dragged off, but it could be him or Bernardo. Both have been terrible. Hopefully Bob creates something. He has to. Surely he does. Free kick for Villa. Douglas Luiz lumps it towards the far corner of the box, and Josh Vardiol leaves it. Well done, Vardiol. Behind for a throw into Manchester City. Well done, Vardiol. And City to make the change. Oscar Bob to come on. Not yet the Norwegian, but we need him. I think we need some sort of creativity, and if the young man can bring it, get him on the field and see what he can do. There's a Villa fan on TV here. He's realised behind Oscar Bob, so he's giving us a bit of a wave. Vardiol to take the throw in. Taking his time here, Vardiol. Throws it forward to Haaland, giving away to Leon Bailey. Kovacic goes and wins it. Haaland to Phil Foden. Come on, Phil. Foden with a good ball into Walker here. Can City get forward now? Kyle Walker for Manchester City. Wide to Bernardo Silva. Can he do something, Bernardo, today? Bernardo still. He decides not to go to Walker in the overlap. He goes back to Matheus Nunes. Kovacic. Akanji. Diaz. Come on, City. Can we go forward? Might have a chance of scoring then. I mean, how many teams have we done this to? Dominated, and then they've nicked a goal against us. If City do it to Villa today, it's probably one that you say, well, it's happened to us plenty of times. But at the moment, City, they never look like they're ever going to score today. Stones, Foden, Kovacic. Away from Kamara, Kovacic. Matheus Nunes. Come on, Nunes. Matheus Nunes. Clips one in here to the far post. Towards Vardiol. Oh, it's not a bad ball by Nunes, but no one read it in the City team. Vardiol gets there too late. Should have clipped it back across the box. Instead, he lets it go behind for a goal kick. Literally, Red Ice is literally with all my past magic. Please be a goal for City. Well, Phil Foden's coming off. Could have been him or Bernardo. Both have been very poor. Foden off. Oscar Bob is on. Let's hope Oscar Bob can make a difference. On this left-hand side, the young Norwegian. Got that connection with Erling Haaland. Let's see if he can do something. Martinez. Concept. Long by Diego Carlos. Vardiol wins it in the air. Well done. Akanji around the corner to Oscar Bob, who can't control it. Unlucky. Matheus Nunes goes and wins it back for City. Oscar Bob pressing. Here's Diego Carlos for Aston Villa. Carlos. Pressure from us, and they work it well to Leon Bailey, who's spun Josh Vardiol here. Brilliant from Leon Bailey. Bailey still going. Bailey cuts it back onto his right foot. Bailey goes for goal. Deflects in, and Aston Villa score. Absolutely deserved. Aston Villa take the lead, and well done, Villa. That is everything you deserve. Aston Villa take the lead against Manchester City. Goal via deflection. Doesn't matter how they go in, if they go in. Aston Villa take the lead, and that's everything they deserve against Manchester City. Absolutely everything they deserve. Edison drops the knees. Aston Villa by far the better side. Manchester City absolutely dominated. And Villa take the lead here. And it's Leon Bailey. He spins Josh Vardiol. He's then got a run on City's defence. He cuts it onto his weaker right foot. We'll see it here. He spins Vardiol initially. Running the City defence. Watkins makes a run in behind Stones. He cuts it onto his weaker right foot. Has a shot. It hits Ruben Diaz and deflects up and into the back of the net. Poor from Diaz. Diaz doesn't even go to try and block this full-bloodedly. Diaz just goes to throw something at it. Not even. It's so like it's like lazy defending from Ruben Diaz. Really lazy defending, and the lazy defending means it's in the back of the net. And City are 1-0 down to Villa, and it's a certain defeat now. I just don't see where a goal comes from City. Villa deserve this without a doubt. Manchester City have been shocking. And sometimes it feels harsh a little bit because, as a City fan, how many times do we see City dominate games and never win? And, you know, lose by a counter-attacking goal. Villa have dominated us. Where's our bit of luck where we get a jammy goal? But it doesn't happen for us, does it? And there you go. City now have got to try and create a single chance. And they've not created a chance since the 15th minute. And we're in the 75th now. This team look devoid of ideas. They really do. Ruben Diaz in behind to Walker. Not a bad ball. Walker's there. Cross in by Walker. Just rolls it to Aston Villa. Just gives it straight back to him. Terrible from Kyle Walker. Ollie Watkins heads it down to McGinn. Chased by Bernardo Silva. John McGinn looks twice the player. If you didn't know who Bernardo Silva was or John McGinn was, you'd say he was the better player. McGinn's spinning us all over the place here. Rid-Eye cursed us saying he wanted a goal. One goal for the wrong side, unfortunately. Here's Emi Martinez. Diego Carlos. Man City's last shot was in the 11th minute. We should just give up now. Throw the towel in. Wave the white flag. Pau Torres. In the middle to Douglas Luiz. Manchester City's title race ends today, perhaps. I think it might do. Here's Diego Carlos. I think the title race is over right here today. Judging on this performance. Kyle Walker. Beaten to it by Luiz, but he was fouled. Free kick Manchester City. See the other results around the Premier League. Liverpool 2, Sheffield United 0, Fulham 5, Nottingham Forest 0, Crystal Palace 0, Bournemouth 2, Brighton 2, Brentford 1. Here's Bernardo Silva for City. Here is Matheus Nunes, runs straight into Luka Dean. Nunes still, he wants some support here. Matheus Nunes running through the challenges. Matheus Nunes onto Stones, well played by the midfielder. Kovacic. Don't know what he's doing here, Kovacic, but he's not doing anything good. Into Stones. Douglas Luiz pressing John Stones. Diaz. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo for City. Bernardo still. Bad passing to Vardy. City make the most of it. Akanji. Oh, late one on Akanji by Leon Bailey. Referee plays advantage. Here's Bernardo Silva for Manchester City. Bernardo. Terrible pass by Bernardo Silva. Should not see the grass of a Manchester City game for a very long time. He's absolutely terrible. He's giving it away and Villa on the counter again now. Bernardo's Yuri Tillemans. In towards Leon Bailey up against Vardiol. Leon Bailey the step overs. Bailey onto that right foot. Vardiol stays with him. Bailey still. Back out to Tillemans. Douglas Luiz is so much space. Bernardo Silva's lost him. Onto John McGinn. McGinn onto the right foot. McGinn bends one. Headed away by Diaz. Straight to Leon Bailey. Intercepted by Oscar Bob and away by Vardiol. Straight towards Yuri Tillemans. Tillemans. Into the box here. Ruben Diaz pokes it away straight to Villa again. Here's Kamara. Kamara looks to shoot into Watkins. Great play. Watkins with a chance here. Blocked by City. Falls to Douglas Luiz. And a big save by Edison in behind for a corner. Good save from Edison. Villa should have scored there. Very unlucky that Villa don't take a 2-0 lead. Very, very unlucky. Ollie Watkins there. Crunched by Diaz in the process. Or Stones gets a shot off. Deflects up to Douglas Luiz, who's so unlucky not to score. So unlucky not to score. And it goes behind for a corner. Another chance here. Another chance here. And it looks like Leon Bailey's got a bit of an issue. He's down and injured. Edison seems to want them to hurry up. Scott McTominay scored for Manchester United. They've taken a 2-1 lead over Chelsea. City's man of the match is Edison, says Chris. Yeah. Probably the only player that can come out of this with his head held high, Edison, actually. City been all over the place. This might be the worst we've ever played. This might be the worst we've ever played. We'll have to see if City can just create something in the final 10 minutes or so. So, corner ball for Aston Villa. Manchester City look, I mean, devoid of anything. Kyle Walker. I mean, John Stones, Diaz, Vardiol. None of them can hold their heads high yet. Don't know what to say, but City have been really poor. Ball comes in by Villa. Headed away by Haaland, but Haaland gives it straight back to Aston Villa. Luckily, there's a foul on Erling Haaland in the process, and City get away with it. But my word, City are poor today. And we can't just say we're poor defensively, because we're absolutely atrocious in attack as well. I can't think of a worse performance than the Pep era, says Chris. No, I mean, I've seen... We lost to Everton, you remember losing at Goodison Park? Massively. Even in those games, we didn't play this bad. Kanji. No options. Unai Emery has absolutely tactically outdone Pep Guardiola today. Absolutely embarrassed Pep Guardiola and his team. And what's worrying is we've got no midfielders starting in the midfield. We've got Stones, Rico, Lewis and Alvarez. A striker, a fullback and a defender starting in midfield, right? And we've got 3 midfielders on the bench in Kovacic, Mateusz Nunes and Calvin Phillips. So you're telling me we've signed 3 midfielders who Pep Guardiola doesn't trust and would rather play 3 players who are not midfielders in the midfield. That's where your issue starts right there. Akanji. Vardiol. Well, City might as well just give it back to Edison and lump it in their own net because we're not going to create a single chance today. It's not happening. Diaz in behind to Haaland here. Wants to chase against Diego Carlos. Carlos gets his arms around Haaland and pulls Haaland down. And it's a throw-in. Or is it a free kick to Manchester City? It might be a free kick here. Haaland's had a big physical battle with Carlos. I mean, when Haaland battles him, it's a foul. When Carlos fouls him, it's not. But this time it is a foul to Erling Haaland. The Everton game was, they're lucky we were embarrassed today. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've ever been outplayed as much as we've been outplayed today. We have been literally outplayed. We've been tactically outclassed. We've been outplayed in every single position. I think every single player can hold his head in shame. I think they've been so poor. So below their normal standards. It's unbelievably bad. Crossing by Mateusz Nunes to the near post here. Straight into the hands of Emery Martinez. If somebody just gambles and makes a run there. But we don't. No one runs across the near post, not even Erling Haaland. Not a bad ball by Nunes. He's attacking. Nearly causes trouble for the keeper. There's a few players in this team that you've got to say in recent weeks have not performed at all for City. I don't think Kyle Walker should be captain. I don't think he should be starting for us. At all. Here's Stones. I mean, Ake's been perfect by that Spurs game where he came off the bench. He's been replaced by a nearly £100 million player in Vardiol who's having a tough couple of weeks. You think if Ake get put back in there, he doesn't. Nobody bothered attacking the ball, says Chris. They didn't on that set piece, did they? Good ball in by Mateusz Nunes. No one's bothered. Mateusz Nunes. Akanji. Nunes again. Mateusz Nunes gets his head up there and says, come on, does anyone want to actually make a move for me? Oscar Bob. Vardiol. Diaz. Ball in behind here. Here's Mateusz Nunes. Nice touch and then just gives it away. He's trying to be too clever against Concert. Back they go towards Diego Carlos. The right foot, the Brazilian, lumps it forward. Ollie Watkins against Ruben Diaz. Ollie Watkins, brilliant against Diaz. Then to Leon Bailey. Diaz has battled for it and somehow the linesman said no free kick play and I thought it was a foul there. We need Mahrez as Redite. Well, Mahrez had a bit of creativity off the wide areas, didn't they? Bernardo Silva brings nothing. Absolutely nothing in the wide areas. That is Kyle Walker playing right wing again at the moment, by the way. Here's Mateusz Nunes for City. Goes wide to Oscar Bob. Back into Mateusz Nunes. He should shoot. What are you doing? Mateusz Nunes trying to do a clever little fancy flick. Just shoot. Stones gets it forward all the way through to Emery Martinez. Well, that's stupid from Mateusz Nunes. If you want to get in this City side, you better start doing the simple things well before you do the fancy things. He's trying to do a little turn and flick. Just take the ball and shoot. Really poor from Mateusz Nunes. A little kick on the calf by Diaz. And Leon Bailey on the way through there. Bailey's down again. As he has done many a time today. But we can't be playing Kyle Walker anymore. He just offers nothing on that far right hand side. He offers... The thing is, I'll say this about Kyle Walker. I've not been the most biggest fan of Kyle Walker for a long while, okay? Because last season he didn't play and I was happy with that. Because he offers nothing going forward. Literally nothing going forward. Then you've got the issue that, well, he's a very good one-on-one defender and he does a lot defensively. So fair enough, that's why we'll play Walker. Now he's offering nothing defensively either. What is he there for? I don't know. I mean, you've got the smallest squad we've ever had. And the manager doesn't trust 3 of the actual 5 midfielders that he has. So what do? We've got 5 midfielders, the smallest squad we've ever had. And 3 of those midfielders he doesn't trust. So poor. Here's Jacob Ramsey who's come on for the injured Leon Bailey, who's absolutely spun Ruben Diaz there. Luckily, Bernardo Silva wins it back just. If City want, I don't mind a loan. Probably do better than some of these players. I'm coming back from an ACL injury, says Ridite. I tell you what, Ridite. I'd rather have you in there over Bernardo Silva today. Or Rico Lewis. Could have played better than both of them. Or Mateusz Nunes or Kovacic. I tell you what, you probably do better in defence than Kyle Walker. Just so poor. So poor from City. Throwing for Villa on the far right hand side. Moussa Diaby's on as well, by the way. Who's an absolute live wire. I won't be surprised if he doubles their lead. Here is Diaby. In towards Kamara. Diaby's made a run here. Kamara flicks it through to Diaby. Just can't control it. Diaby. Back he goes towards Ramsey. Ramsey. In towards Douglas Luiz's space here. Douglas Luiz with a poor touch. Mateusz Nunes can't nick it. Luca Dean. Back to Mateusz Nunes in the box. Space for Douglas Luiz. Off the post by Douglas Luiz. So unlucky. Diaby tries to run Oscar Bob, who stays with him. Well done, Oscar Bob, behind for a goal kick. Douglas Luiz. Edge of the box, free in space, off the bar by him. So unlucky. Maybe they said at the end of the Pep era, says Ridite. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. Although I don't know actually it is that bad. But Douglas Luiz there, clattering the post. Villa should be 2-0 up. I tell you what, if anything comes in, if City get anything from this game, we've absolutely bought a win here. Absolutely bought a win. Abubakar Kamara gets a yellow card, free kick for City for a handball by Pau Torres. Not in a good position. It's on the centre circle. And that means City would have to create a chance, which we can't do. We've still not had a shot since the 11th minute of the game. At the 11th minute of the game, we haven't had a single shot. Well, I've got 3 commentaries coming up on the channel, by the way. The commentary in the next game is the weekend one against Luton Town, which it wouldn't surprise me if Luton beat us, considering how they played against Arsenal. Bob into Diaz here. Diaz across the box into the hands of Emi Martinez. A shocking ball by Ruben Diaz. Why is our centre-back putting crosses in? But yeah, I think Luton Town might beat us at this rate. I think he was offside anyway, Ruben Diaz. And I think that Red Star Belgrade might batter us next week. But both will be live on this channel. You can join us for those commentaries. I have to say, Aston Villa, I knew before the game they're a brilliant team. And I said before the game to people who spoke to me, I think they'll beat us. This is a thoroughly deserved victory for Aston Villa. If City get anything from this, it feels disgusting. It's disgusting if City get anything from this. And that's how other teams must feel against us all the time, because we have a million shots and never win. And then they score 1 goal on the counter. You must feel horrible, like you've just robbed a team. I feel like if City get anything from this, they've robbed them. If Luton beats us, we are finished, and we should probably send a whole team in January, says Redite. If Luton beat us, then we start revamping this midfield. It's a big issue. A big issue. Bernardo Silva for City. I mean, Bernardo Silva don't want to be here. He asked for a release clause put in his contract, but we'll still give him a contract and still keep him. Walker pulls it back. Terrible cross by Kyle Walker. And it's offside anyway against Kyle Walker. The offside trap of Villas has been fantastic as well. But yeah, Bernardo Silva has to leave every summer. He has to leave again this summer, but you know, you put a 50 million release clause in my contract so that I can leave whenever I want. Does he really have the desire to be at Manchester City? Probably not. And he's a good player, Bernardo, and at times he's absolutely spectacular, and he's putting some spectacular performances in for City. But today, maybe it's just an off game, but he's been diabolical, Bernardo Silva. He really has. I think maybe one of the worst out there. Especially for his high standards. Haaland's than nothing, but how's Haaland going to score a goal that's not created for him? I know he had 2 chances at the start, but that's the only 2 chances we created. Ball out wide to Kyle Walker here. This is where things just end with Kyle Walker on the ball. Walker. This whole thing about making Kyle Walker stay last summer, and we made him stay by giving him a big 2-year contract and giving him the captain's armband, is a massive mistake. Is a massive mistake. Mateusz Nunes for City. Nunes. Wide to Walker. Into Stones. Mateusz Nunes. Oh my God. Mateusz Nunes passes it straight out for a throw in. Kyle Walker goes one way, he goes the other. And they're going to make 2 changes here. Alex Moreno and Jean Duran's going to come on. Yeah, I mean, Interesting, I'm looking on social media, someone's saying, what's the matter, Pep? Is it the fans that are not loud enough? I don't think so, is it? You can't blame that on this time. We should have kept Ilkay Gundogan, shouldn't we? I think that is actually one of the worst things we do. The fact that we replace Gundogan with Kovacic and Matheus Nunes is going to go down as one of the biggest mistakes we've made in recent times. I mean, should we have just spent the big money on Bellingham or Rice? Probably. At this rate, probably. Because we need someone in that position, don't we? 90 minutes is up, by the way. There is added time, 5 added minutes for Manchester City to try and nick something from this game. But I don't expect it. Aston Villa, an absolutely brilliant performance. Fantastic team, and they're going places, and they move above Manchester City in the table. Thrown by Alex Moreno. Headed away by Villa, down to Diaby. Tackled by Akanji. Diaby rises the challenges. Brilliant from Moussa Diaby. Here is John Duran. Duran for City to deal with. Can't do. John Duran, brilliant from the Colombian. Or Venezuelan. It could be Colombian. Here's John Duran. Crossing. Comes off Kyle Walker. Back off Duran and out for a City throw-in. The ref doesn't see that. And he gives the throw-in Aston Villa's way. It's not all lost. We still have Phillips. Oh yeah, all is lost, says Chris. Pep doesn't trust Phillips. He doesn't trust Matheus Nunes. And he doesn't trust Kovacic. So why are they at the club? You can bin all 3 off right now. And look how light that lives in the midfield. We've got no midfielders because De Bruyne is injured. Bernardo's being forced out wide because we've only got 1 single winger in the squad. It's just this rubbish about I prefer to work with a smaller squad. We played better. We won more things and we had 2 good players in every position. And now we've got 1 good player in every position. We're done for. Here's Konsa. Oscar Bobby's hands are all over Ezri Konsa here. Vardiol goes and wins it and they give the free kick Villa's way. Oscar Bob frustrated, but there's nothing. I don't blame Oscar Bob, someone like that. Ezri Konsa there holding nothing. I mean, we every 50-50 been second to. I mean, I like someone saying, it's not even tense at all, this game, is it? There's no tension about it. City aren't even close to creating a single chance and just won't shoot. So, what's the point? Anything there's a chance of is a Villa goal. One back by Oscar Bob here. Bernardo Silva straight into McGinn. Throwing for Manchester City. Oh, City with a trouble at the back here. They get away with it. Walker on towards John Stones. Stones for City in behind to Kyle Walker. Chased by Alex Moreno. Tries to pull him down here. Big challenge by Pau Torres. John Stones, the big switcher play out to Oscar Bob on the far left-hand side here. Could Manchester City nick something? Bob. Bob for City. Kovacic makes a run. Kovacic is absolutely diabolical, Mateo Kovacic. Behind to Kovacic again. Kovacic. Kovacic still. Gives it away, Kovacic. One back by Kamara. Foul by... I say, Mateo Kovacic, you should be absolutely shredding his contract right now. He is terrible. And one thing I say is, you know when Douglas Luiz hits the post... Watch Mateo Kovacic jogging back, by the way. He's not even jogging back. We spent most of the money on defenders and can't defend, turn a blind eye on their positions. Red Ice Cancelo would have done something here, honestly. I don't know. Chris says, if I was a Villa fan, I'd not be worried about all the clothing. I know. I mean, there's nothing to be scared about. Nothing to be scared about. Matheus Nunes. Matheus Nunes, I mean, and Mateo Kovacic, just shocking signings. Absolutely shocking signings. You shouldn't write players off early. Matheus Nunes, I suppose, is young. Kovacic is a blooming 4 times Champions League winner. And he's just there to see out a bit of money in the end of his career, isn't it? What a stupid... replacing Gundogan with Kovacic has got to be one of the craziest decisions ever. Long ball forward. Matheus Nunes can't win the header. The guy's a pony. Just going to forget this match and watch the FIFA series, says Unai. Watch the FIFA series. We're doing a lot better in that, as you can imagine. And don't worry, I'll bin Mateo Kovacic off in Season 2 if I can do. He's always moaning about not playing Kovacic in the FIFA series. You're not playing me enough. I wonder why. Long ball forward by Martinez. Wide to Konsa. What a win by Aston. This game's over. This game was over from minute 1. John McGinn. Holds off Vardiol like he's a little schoolboy. McGinn into Oscar Bob behind for a throw into Villa. I have to say, absolutely spectacular from Aston Villa. We have been incredibly poor, and that's maybe added to it. If we played well, maybe Villa would have been different. But Unai Emery is absolutely embarrassed Pep Guardiola. Congratulations to Villa, fantastic. You move above City in the table. What a performance, by the way. What a performance. Ultra comfortable for Villa, says Chris. It has been all game. McGinn here, beaten to it by Vardiol. Here's Joshko Vardiol. Late one by McGinn on Vardiol here. Free kick for Manchester City. 95 minutes in the clock. We've played all the time. Will the referee let the game go on any longer? Or is he going to put Manchester City out of the misery with the final whistle? Edison to send it forward. Edison does send it forward. Haaland heads it on straight to Aston Villa. Bernardo Silva running in behind. Lumped away by Pau Torres. What a bad game to come back to, says Unai. There's the full-time whistle. Well, Pep Guardiola says in midweek he feels like his Manchester City side can win the Premier League. I tell you what, for the first time, I have to disagree with Pep in terms of he might be deluded. Is he absolutely deluded? That does not look like a side that will win anything, let alone the Premier League. Devoid of ideas, can't defend, can't pass, terrible going forward, can't even trust the midfielders we've spent 85 million on that sit on the bench. So we play full-backs and defenders. Yeah, just shocking for Manchester City. Thanks everyone for joining. Brilliant commentary, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. I tried to stay positive there, it's hard to. I tell you what, Aston Villa, fantastic. If you're a Villa fan listening, congratulations. I think you'll go a long way this season, Aston Villa. I think you'll go a long way. I think you could even get top 4. You've made Manchester City look like a Sunday League side there. That's how good you were, and that's how poor City were. Thank you for watching. I don't know what to say. We'll be back on the weekend for City versus Luton Town. I expect it to be better purely because of the quality of the opposition, but it wouldn't surprise me at this rate. City playing like that, if they don't go and beat City at Luton. If City perform like that, Luton will beat us. Brilliant performance. Some embarrassing performances in there. What was it? 29% of you guys were right. 59% were wrong with a win. 12% wrong with a draw. It would have any result other than a Villa win there would have been wrong. Thank you for watching. I mean, there's not even any passion in that City side, so I can't even say, oh, let's give some player ratings, give some good results. Every single player, hang your head in shame. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in the weekend for City versus Luton. Please do like the video as well if you haven't already. We'll see you next time. It's Haaland, and here in career mode, City have won the lot. Rodri on the chance! Goal in the final by Rodri! Jude Bellingham will not be coming to Manchester City. We are Premier League champions. City FC are champions. Series based on the World Cup with music videos, football and more. Get your official City FC merchandise. Join us as we explore historic Europe and football.